Episode 64, boys. This is the Quick Hands podcast. We are the pod that tells it like it is. Welcome back again. George, Artie, as always, pleasure to see you, boys.
Hey,
Welcome back,
how the
everyone.
fellas?
Another week done and dusted.
Another week done and dusted.
That's
Done and
it.
dusted. Love being back too, seeing you guys.
Everyone have a good weekend?
Yeah, it was good.
Sensational.
Good until last night.
Yeah. You know, what do you do?
Yeah.
But the rugby league is sensational.
Yeah.
Even you know what someone said, I think it was Abdo, even the floggings were good. Like, it was just good. The whole round.
Crowds are up.
Crowds are up.
Crowds are really impressive.
In England as well, in Australia. As I say, something good is happening. Something
Yeah.
good is happening, no?
And the two Super Saturday games, both of them went to the last minute. So that was pretty good.
How good were
With
they?
the we're going to touch on these later, but with the Warriors Storm,
Mm-hmm.
I walked away with a couple of minutes to go. I thought it was over. So
Yeah.
when I got a text message from a mate of mine, he goes, "That's the best try I've ever seen." And I'm like, "What did I miss?"
It was a good try.
I went back,
Yeah, it's early in the season and we're seeing stuff like that already. So that's pretty good signs.
You know what? I don't know if it was the most important try ever scored, but definitely it's going to be on the highlight reels for the next decade.
Oh,
Yeah.
And if that didn't go all around the world, I'll be a monkey's uncle.
what these? Can you say that?
I don't think I can. I should have said it.
What happens if someone calls Nathan Cleary a panther?
He's a panther.
Is that racist? Though?
He's a youngster panther too. He's a junior. He's a junior panther.
Yeah, but the acrobatics of these wingers nowadays, it's just
Yeah.
that's just gone to a whole another level, hasn't it?
ridiculous.
Yeah.
That try was ridiculous, and I'm happy he got scored because what a downer it would have been if he was just out
Yeah.
or just
Yeah.
knocked on. I mean, it would have been a different narrative. Huh? It was a try. It was
And I
amazing.
also noticed in one of the other games, one of my pet hates, I've told you guys, it's worse, I believe, when you're there in the crowd. When you see a try scored, we saw it with Ola Kawatu for Manly, where the try was scored and then it was pulled back because he lost control of it
Yeah.
for a second. When you're in the crowd, it's the absolute worst feeling. Try scored, crowd celebrates for 2 minutes, right? The guy's got the ball, the goal kicker's got the ball in play, and then the referee does the signal. And you know what?
Yeah.
You know it's a no try because I've never seen that signal and a try be awarded after.
Mate, the minute you see that
It
signal,
just deflates the crowd
Oh, yeah.
so much.
It's terrible.
And why does it take 2 or 3 minutes? Like, look at it on the first run. If you're going to give it, give it. If you're going to call it, call it. Don't leave 20,000 people in limbo for 2 or 3 minutes. It's the worst deflating moment of any game that I've been able to see.
I hope you've got on our run sheet, but I'd love to talk about referees. I told you.
Well, we don't need it on the run sheet to talk about referees, do we?
I think they're struggling. I think they need help. I think they need 2 refs. It's just too quick for them, too much for them. It really is. They're only human, and these athletes are just getting better and better and better, quicker, faster, stronger.
Yeah.
So they need help. They really do. And Artie's pet hate, bunker, my pet hate of the bunker. If we can reduce the bunkers,
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
and have 2 refs, I'm hoping he might get. Look,
It's the bunker who
every
looks
game-
at these things and calls it back 2-3 minutes later.
That incident, but
Now, every time that happens, though.
but there was multiple other little incidents during games which actually changed the momentum of games. I'm
Yeah.
not saying the outcome, but the momentum of
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
There's slight little things, you know what I mean?
Well, that's-
inside shoulders, and I mean that referee getting in the way. Kickout scored that try. Come on, no one's going to stop it.
That was in my bunker
Billy.
watch, actually. Yeah. Because
Let's,
that was
let's-
ridiculous.
Let's hold that off the bunker
Yeah,
watch because
yeah.
there's a couple
That
of
was
things.
ridiculous.
Okay.
George, why don't you open it up for us?
Yeah, Nicola, last week we expressed our thoughts on, as I call it, or as we call it, Monkeygate. And I was a little bit worried because I thought maybe our listeners and our viewers would have got sort of the wrong idea. We kept on saying throughout the episode that we're against any racial and any sexual, when it comes down to it, vilification.
Can I just clarify? We're not against sex.
No. Not
We're against
sex.
sexism.
Sexism.
Just want to clarify that, George. Speak for yourself.
And sexual vilification. So I was a little bit nervous, but what came through, I think they understood us, and we got a lot of love.
We did. I'm going to go through a couple. I just picked out 3. There's quite a few, actually, but I just pulled out 3. So we got some emails.
In saying that, the boy wonders back, he was a little bit under the weather, and we didn't get our clips, our shorts out. Hopefully this week he's back in the swing, and he's he's full hands on now. So we're getting emails, this and that. So go boy wonder.
I'm going to read out 3 of the emails we got. And just remember, your feedback's always welcome at quickhandsrugbyleague@gmail.com. That's quickhandsrugbyleague@gmail.com. Feel free to send us love, hate, like we always say.
Yeah.
Whatever you like. But here's a couple that we got. One says, "Hey team, I love what you guys are doing in this space. Your unfiltered and no-holds-barred analysis of rugby league is refreshing and keeps us coming back for more." So that was one. There was another one here. "Really enjoy the show, boys. When you guys say that you're the pod that tells it like it is, wow. Last week's show regarding the Monkey Gate, you really called it as you saw it. Was explosive. No other media outlets told us the truth like you boys did."
And that was it, Nicola. You know what? Every time Karianis would say something against the norm, he would get shut down really quickly.
Yeah.
Buzz kept away from it because I listened to a lot of
I thought Paul Kent was pretty good.
Kent tried to step on that line and go, like both ways. So Kent was probably a little bit better. But you know what? No one wanted to upset anybody because there's a lot more I found out, which I'm not going to say. But let's put it this way: there's a lot of things said on the field. They're about a metre away from each other.
Yeah.
They chances are they know each other because they've played against each other since
Off the
14s,
field as well.
and
A
off
lot
the
of
field as
them,
well. Yeah, and I'm assuming half of them live in the Shire, aren't they? So they have coffee together. So a lot of things are said, and sometimes if you're the aggressor from games gone by and you cop something, maybe you should just cop it on the chin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one more I want to read out because it throws a shout out to Artie. Long-time listener, first-time emailer. Love the new format. Especially love Who Would You Rather.
No, there you go.
There you go, Artie.
There you go. I've got another one.
Another one, mate. It must be a Saints support. Must be a Saints support.
No, it's probably my wife.
So,
No, it's good.
So
I've got a good one for that.
Let's
today.
kick in the controversy corner. And there's a couple of things to talk about. Souths are obviously top of the news this week for more than one reason. Let's start with the halfback. Ilias has been dropped for this week. Now, before we get into it, he's been dropped and replaced with Dean Hawkins. Before we get into it, I was watching the game on Thursday night, and Ilias made an error, and I grabbed my phone and my notepad, and I thought, I'm just going to make a note. I'm going to watch this kid tonight and see. We're going to watch him closely. So I made a couple of notes, right? And here they are. These are my observations from what I saw. I didn't take note of what time it was in the game, but there was at one point the Broncos turned it over on the first tackle 5 metres out from their own line when Reece Walsh was at dummy half and he knocked it on. From that scrum, Ilias threw a terrible pass that forced his winger over the sideline on play one. Yeah. So destroyed that moment. And another time with Damien Cook in the bin and South's a man down, Souths get a scrum 10 metres out from their own line to obviously get out of their own end.
Dirty rule, yeah.
Ilias feeds the scrum and the Broncos win it against the feed.
Against the feed.
How does that happen in this day? When they feed it to the lock, right?
Lucky.
Another incident on the last tackle play, Ilias kicks the ball into his own player and it's a turnover to Brisbane.
Yeah.
And the last thing I noted with 11 minutes to go, 15 metres out from the Broncos line, Souths are on the attack. Ilias drops the ball cold from a perfect dummy half pass. And I'm thinking, this is not about Ilias bashing, but how often do you see a 7 make this many crucial errors in a game? He had to. This is, by the way, Thursday night. So it's no great surprise to me that he's been dropped because you can't carry a halfback that does that. Now, I don't think he does. I don't think he makes that many errors like week in, week out. But
he does.
That was just that night.
No, he does.
Okay.
He does make
well, you guys
errors.
would probably know better than me.
He does make that many errors. You know what? Unfortunately, at South Sydney, as we keep on saying, there's trouble in paradise, and he's not the blame or the reason why Souths are not playing well, but right this moment he's the scapegoat. He had to go. Unfortunately, to to keep appearances up, he had to go.
But I don't agree with that. I don't agree he's the scapegoat because this is based on his performance.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been calling for his
It's
head.
not about. It's
all
not
year.
about. Yeah.
No, I've
He's
been
not a
calling for his head all year. But what I'm trying to say
He
is,
wouldn't be a scapegoat if he was playing. If he was playing well.
yes. No. Look, the issue is now this, that he gets dropped to the Reggies, and when Dean Hawkins comes into this team, he will not get out of this team. And the reason being is that his fundamentals are solid and sound. And because he's a little bit older than Lockie, he's more confident to not only steer the team around, he'll overcall Latrell. He'll overcall him.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've seen him do it.
That's what they need.
Okay, Lockie is still a 22, I think, or 23-year-old kid, unfortunately, with a big upside, but at the moment, he's not at the right place at the right time, unfortunately.
How long's he been in first grade for? 3 years
This
now.
is his third year, and that's the issue. That's the issue. If it was his first year, we wouldn't even talk about it. If it was his second year, we'll talk about it, but we won't call for his head.
Yeah.
He did get dropped last year, by the way. Okay, but now because it's his third year, but I'm going to say very clearly that the problem at Souths, he's not the problem.
There is absolutely a problem at South.
There's
no
trouble in paradise.
question about
There's
that.
trouble.
Right,
Absolutely, yeah.
No
I
question.
agree. Yeah, there's definitely problems there, and I feel sorry for Lachlan, but yeah, it had to come. The guy was making a few errors. Do you think it's a matter of him going to a different club? Do you think he'll perform better at a different club, or
Which club? What club?
what about Super League? Would you suggest?
Well, look how
He'd kill
good-
it. He'd kill it.
Look how good Brooksy's doing at Manly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait a minute. If
You
put-
throw him in the Melbourne system. You have him and Munster and with Jerome Hughes.
Yeah,
I think he'd
if
kill
you
it.
if you put him in the Melbourne system, Adi,
Seriously,
Bellamy,
you could have sent Paul Carriage to the Melbourne
could,
system,
you
and he would have
could,
become
you
a
could.
Dally M player.
you could, and super coach down there. What do we call him anyway? Craig Bellamy works on his strengths and bases his game around his strengths. He'll look like a superstar.
John Creese.
John Creese, yeah.
Did anyone see the footage of him dancing on the field
When?
What?
after the game?
No.
Oh,
Craig
it's the
Bellamy?
best. Yeah, he's with the
Nah.
players, and he does this little dance shuffle. And I saw it on YouTube, and they reversed it.
Was he blowing them up at the same
What?
time?
No, I'll
hell?
find it. Where did I see it? Was it on YouTube? I think it was on YouTube on one of the Channel 9 shows. I'll find it and send it to you guys. It was hilarious because you very rarely see Bellamy like that. But
No, that's
obviously he was happy with the win.
Mm.
But he was with the players on the field, and he just does this. He's behind Nick Meaney, and he just does this little dance.
Nick Meaney had a good game.
And obviously the cameras caught it, so it was pretty good.
Can I say everybody, or a lot of the media is suggesting when Jack Wyden comes into this team, all the problems will be solved. I suggest to you they won't be solved.
He's coming at centre though.
Yeah.
Like he's not going into the halves.
Look, yeah, but that's a good thing because Artie, who's that Reggie centre they've got? That centre at Souths who's just a turnstile, whatever his name is.
Richard Kenner? No.
Is it? I don't know who it is, but they got this centre. He's a new bloke. I don't know. Maybe he was in the Reggies last year. The guy's not a first grader. He's not a first grader. So good, get rid of him. But in general, he's not the golden bullet for South Sydney. There is some sort of issue in the culture of that club because what amazes me is this: we blamed and we badgered. And I jumped on board as well and said that Big Sam Burgess was the problem there. He went to England. He took a decent team. They weren't a top 8 team or the top 6 team, okay? But right at this moment, they're coming first. And they're looking at $1 million. So I think his early days, very early days, he's distinctive himself in our glory. So we're throwing it back to Dimitri. So I'll tell you now, if Dimitri doesn't get it right, he will be the first coach sacked this year. And if he's wavering that much, which I think he might be, and I called them for the victory for a trophy this year, for a ring.
Yeah.
If he's out of the 8, I don't know if he'll last the season now.
Well, you mentioned there might be something going on behind the scenes. I want to touch on something else. The Josh Mansour. Did you guys see that? Josh Mansour was on James Graham's podcast.
No.
Now, I'm looking at an article that's on Fox Sports. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm just going to touch on a few points. about his exit from South and how it all happened. And basically he said he just didn't see eye to eye with the coach.
Yeah.
And he said the coach basically jerked him around. And a few of the points he made was he said, in the preseason, he told me I was going to be on the right edge with Campbell Graham and he wants to build my combination with him, and that he believed in me. And he said round one comes, he names the side on Tuesday. I was in the team. Then on Thursday's captain's run, I'm coming in and I get a text from him saying to come to his office. I thought it was bizarre. I went to his office and he told me he was going to rest me for that week. And I was like, rest me? It's round one, right? Why would you rest me in round one? And then he said, you need to get a couple of weeks under your belt. So he said, I ended up being 18th man. And he goes on to list another 2 or 3 instances like this. Round 9, he texted me again on the captain's run, and I go, I think I know what this is going to be. I had the feeling it was going to be the same conversation. I walked to my locker first to see if my captain's run jersey was hanging, and it wasn't there. So I already knew I'd been dropped. And he just goes on, he said, I pressed him. He goes, I wanted to know why. And he said, I thought you missed too many tackles last week. And he said, well, can you show me? And he missed 2 tackles the previous week. And it just goes on and on. But anyway, if you want to have a look, have a look at Fox Sports. There's an article on it, but it gives you a little bit of insight into, because apparently he wasn't the only player.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of the Brian Smith thing. Did you remember the late night text messages and all that stuff?
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
The most damning thing out of that whole interview, which I heard.
And it hasn't been refuted by anyone at South
and
either.
that's what I thought. It was just a bit of sour grapes, but it might not be. I'm not sure. But the most damning thing in that interview was that at the end of the season, or close to the end of the season, he says, I'm going to show some video of the departing players. Okay.
Yeah.
And he put Josh Mansell.
And he didn't even know.
He didn't even know.
Yeah. The first time he realised he was being let go was in that video session of the departing players.
So what that tells me is it's consistent with what I'm seeing on the field. It's a team who is undisciplined. He can't control, because there's some big stars in that team.
Yeah.
He can't control the big names. And like we said pre-pod, there's only 2 or 3 coaches who can control the big names. There's not many of them, okay?
Yeah.
Now, maybe he's been hiding under a super coach's cloth. You know what I mean? Maybe he's been hiding under, Wayne Bennett. And who was the other one who was under? I forget now. But anyway.
Trent.
Was he with Trent?
Are you talking about Latrell?
Not Latrell.
Sorry.
Dimitri.
Dimitri.
Well, anyway, maybe he's been hiding under Supercoach's cloth for all these years, and we didn't see the real him. But guess what? In year 3, we're seeing the real him, and I hope it's not true. I hope this week comes, and I think they're playing the Roosters. Comes and everything gets fixed up. But what I saw from Latrell, in an interview.
And we're going to touch on that.
That would never happen.
We're going to touch on that. And the issue that I've
coaches.
got, and we were talking about this off air, and Artie, you mentioned Ronaldo, the soccer player.
Yeah.
Tell me about that, because I'm not familiar with soccer. What happens with those massive stars?
Well, I mean,
They've just got big egos and they're hard to control. They're demanding and stuff like that.
Unless you're one of the, it's the similar thing, right? Unless you're one of the big coaches, unless you're one of the real big coaches like Guardiola and Ancelotti, Klopp, it's very difficult for maybe a Postecoglou, for example. If you had Ronaldo, it's very difficult. It's a similar thing here, but here's the difference. Ronaldo wins games.
Yeah.
Okay? The thing that's bugging me about Latrell, and it's been bothering me for a long time, okay? He's always the first one to talk himself up. Yeah. Although he did it a month ago before the season. I'm the best fullback in the comp, right?
Does it all the time.
Here's the thing. He always goes on about his 2 rings. And he's got them. He won them at Roosters, right?
Roosters, yeah.
Here's the reality. At fullback, he's won nothing, right? Since he's been at South, he's won nothing. As a fullback, he's won nothing. He thinks he's the best fullback in the comp. He's not even the best fullback in Sydney. If we're picking the state of origin, he's 3rd choice behind Tedesco and Turbo.
I wouldn't pick him as
okay?
fullback.
So, and with things like the Ezra Mann incident and all that, it's like he just finds ways. He's great at marketing and promoting himself, right, through the media. He's always gets his name in the paper, right? But what he really needs to do, and I think we said this a few weeks ago, is just shut up.
Yeah.
Just shut up and focus on playing, because if he does, he has the potential to be everything that he thinks he is, right? But he's almost like I said to you before, he's almost similar to Mike Tyson, right? We're old enough to remember Tyson. Some listeners might not be, but in his first stint, he was untouchable. In his second stint, when he came out of jail, his skills had obviously diminished, and he started talking a lot more. And it wasn't like Tyson to do all that trash talking and all that. That wasn't his style when he was the world champion, the first time round. And it's like Mitchell's doing that now. He's talking himself up all the time, and he's not producing it on the field.
Yeah.
He's not. So shut up, focus on your game, try and keep your club out of the headlines, because he keeps putting him in the headlines, right? Which leads us to this latest thing where post-match, after the game on Thursday night, he did a sideline interview with Dobbo.
Disgraceful. From
Triple M. It was live, okay? Now, look, we all swear. We all understand that, but as a first-grade professional rugby league player, you have to be aware and conscious of the fact that children are watching, and you are a role model whether you like it or not, right?
Prime time.
He's gone off. I think we've got audio of it, but he's gone off 4 or 5 times swearing in an interview, and then he actually says at one point, "I don't care that I'm swearing," right? And this is the part that sickens me the most, right? Do you know how the NRL reacted to this?
Yeah.
They didn't. Right, so he's escaped any form of punishment, right?
Hypocrisy at its highest.
And the NRL CEO Andrew Dumbbell, or whatever his name is, what is it? Andrew Abdo.
Dumbbell. I like that one. That's a new one.
He said he contacted South and said, "I'd like to set up a meeting with Latrell and just have a chat with him."
He contacts South.
Yeah, right. Now,
isn't he the boss?
Now I remember maybe a year and a half ago, at the end of 2022. Brandon Smith was playing for Melbourne and he had signed for the Roosters, and he went on a podcast and he swore.
Yes, I remember.
And the NRL, he got investigated by the integrity unit.
That's right.
And then he was fined a huge sum of money for that.
Yeah.
Latrell Mitchell, what he's done is far worse. And he's escaped punishment. And why is there always different rules for this guy?
Look, there's different rules.
In the first game, he was praised for his rampaging ball carrying when he's elbowed a guy straight in the face and split him wide open. No report, no sanction for that. But if anyone else does it, maybe except for Jerome Luai, they go on report.
You know what? It's in front of us and no one can deny it. We're seeing, and I can't say that word, hypocrisy at its highest level, and it's in front of us.
Yeah.
But no one's saying anything. Not even the famous Buzz. The journalists are not. I listen to all their pods, and not one word. Mind you, I think I saw something on 360. Kenty, probably the only guy, the voice of reason.
Did he bring it up?
Something he was saying. And
I'll watch it when I get home.
Watch it when you get
home,
home.
because obviously we're here recording this.
But you know what? He gets away with murder. And if it was, let's call a spade a spade. If it was a white Anglo saying these things,
yes,
okay,
fined and suspended.
And you said it. And maybe he's a Kiwi, but Smith said something.
Yeah, he got fined.
And he got fined.
Yeah.
It was investigated
by the integrity unit. That's one of my personal favourites, by the way.
And the point is that what Latrell said on primetime television was far worse.
Not only was it on primetime television, it was on live radio.
Live radio as well. Okay.
So they couldn't beep it.
Oh no! Oh no!
It was live.
Oh, because I heard it on
everything that we have access to now has been edited, right? Because they have to edit it, right? But it was live.
Latrell.
It was live, and Dobbo was actually criticised on his on the Triple M pod that had James Graham, James Hooper, and Gordon Tallis.
Did James stick up for him?
No. James actually attacked him the worst. It was in a joking way, but they all hammered him because they all said, "You should have cut that interview."
Yeah.
And he said, "We did cut the interview." And they said, No. The network cut the interview. You should have cut the interview when he started swearing, right? And then he went on to defend Latrell and he goes, "Well, it's not my job to cut the interview. He's done enough interviews. He should know." And that's actually where Gordon Tallis brought up your point. He said, "No one who ever plays for Wayne Bennett will do that."
No way. Yeah. So you know what? Before I go on to a rant, Adi, Have you got anything to
we
top us
haven't-
up? Yeah, we're
we've been
talking
doing
over
all
you,
the
bro.
talking.
Sorry, man. I'm still shocked that Josh Mansour. I didn't know he played for Saints. All those issues he had with the coach, was he one hook? It sounds very familiar. But,
Nah, unfortunately, didn't have a run at Saints.
but yeah, it was pretty bad behaviour, absolutely, and he should have got caned. Like you said, Brandon Smith copped it, so they just got to be.
For a lot less.
Exactly. Just have one set of rules and apply to everyone, no matter what you are. Just apply to everyone. You're swearing on radio, you're fined. You know what I mean? It's just wrong.
So this,
But the worst part was that he said, I don't care that I'm
Exactly.
swearing.
He knew what he was doing.
So
This
like,
is
I'm
it.
doing this on purpose.
Exactly.
you know what? It all stems back to Jason Dimitru. Jason, I don't know. As a person, you're probably a great human being. As a coach, look, I'm not going to say you're not a good coach because you've got lots of results in a lot of different leagues. But when it comes down to it, you got to control those boys. You got to control those superstars because if you want to be at Centrelink, you're doing a really good job. Because at the end of this year, you'll be there. Trust me, you'll be there. And guess what? The worst thing is Sam Burgess will take your job, and that's going to be the biggest knife. And Latrell, my God, Latrell, pull your head in.
As easy it is to say it, and it's hard to do. JD's got to pull Latrell into the change room
Yes.
after that and tear him to shreds
Yes.
in front of the whole squad.
Yes.
He has to.
Yeah,
Well,
but
Bennett will do that.
I'm
He
sorry,
has
but
to.
Latrell's their marquee player. He's their superstar.
Doesn't matter.
He's got his hands tied. The club don't want to lose him, so they're sort of bending over. I'm sorry. I feel like Latrell's letting down Dimitru.
Oh, absolutely.
He is.
Yes,
But
he is.
Dimitri's put so much trust in him, and he's.
But what do you do?
And at the end of the day, if Dimitri gets sacked, it's because of Latrell. It's
Yes.
not because of him.
But what are you gonna
It's
do?
because he can't do anything about it. His hands are tied.
But Artie, what are you going to do?
Well, he's the most marketable player. What's he going to do? Is if Dimitri drops the guy, everyone's going to be up in arms. The CEO is going to call straight out the sponsors.
how do you
What are you doing getting rid of our superstar?
I would argue his status as a marquee player because he's certainly not performing like one, and he hasn't for a long time.
Yeah, he's a marquee player because we know what he can
No, we know
do.
he is.
Yeah.
I'm just arguing as to the value of that status at the moment and the past 12 months.
So, Artie, what would you do to get him on the same page? Forget the playing, because we know he can rip a team out if he wants to rip a team. What do you do? What will Bennett do to get him on the same page? What would Robbo do? Robbo we saw what Robbo done. He got rid of him.
But do you remember what happened when Robbo got rid of him?
Robbo got rid of him.
Exactly. Right, to your point,
Yeah.
he was even better at the Roosters.
Robbo got lucky because South showed interest and threw big dollars at him, and then the Roosters
Yeah.
go, we can't match it. And then Robbo thought, phew, that's good.
Robbo did it
He's out
one
of
But
my
Robbo,
hands.
it took,
Robbo did
it
it.
Exactly,
It took
but-
a lot of cojones
Yeah.
at that time. He was the best centre in the
Yeah,
game.
exactly. Yeah.
Right? To show him the door. See you
No, for
later.
sure. Yeah.
Well, that last comp, it was his
Yeah.
moment of brilliance that
Absolutely.
got him over
But-
the line.
Yeah.
But that's Robbo. He's just a
Yeah.
freak.
That's
he had
what-
RTS at his prime, and he
But-
got rid of RTS and brought in Tedesco. So, you know what I mean? He
But that's
knows
the
what to
difference
replace.
between, and it's not JD's fault, but that's the difference between a successful coach who is at that level, who can handle, and one who's still learning how to do it.
I'm sure if another club comes in, I'm surprised the Bulldogs aren't. Is Gus having a secret coffee with him already?
I don't want
'Cause
him anywhere near the
if,
club.
No, I'm sure if another club goes in for Latrell, it'll probably save Dimitri. We'll think, you know what? Maybe
You know, it's funny. Parramatta released one player from their top 30. He hasn't played first grade or very
yeah, no,
minimal.
he got signed for the Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs went straight for him.
Who are they signing everyone?
And they're
No,
also trying to sign
strange.
Terrell May from the Roosters as well. I think they've got a squad of 45.
Yeah.
The Bulldogs. I don't know.
How? But forget. I want to hear Artie.
let's go back.
What
Yeah.
would you do? What would you
Yeah.
do to pull him into line? Latrell, this is.
Well, I think Dimitri's given him everything he wants.
Yeah.
He's just got to now make him accountable for what he's producing, and he's just got to. I don't know. He's just got to put him on notice. Basically, say, you know what, I've done everything for you. You got to start showing me what, giving me some respect back. And if you don't, I'm going to have to drop you. He's got to. I don't know. Behind closed doors, there. You can't do it in
Yeah.
public. I wouldn't do
No,
anything
in
in
front
public.
of the team. In front of the team.
I don't know about that.
That is closed doors. The team is closed ranks in the
Yeah,
locker
yeah,
room.
sure.
We saw a couple of years ago or 3 years ago, whatever it was, when Bennett was coaching South. And I don't agree with having cameras in the locker rooms, by the way. I'm not a fan. That's a sacred place. Anyone who's played sport has been in there. That's a sacred place.
Yeah.
And there shouldn't be cameras. We at home should not be seeing what's happening in the locker room. But I can't remember what the reason was, but Latrell Mitchell was bawling his eyes out with Wayne Bennett. Remember that? A few years ago?
Yeah.
So he might not be. He's good at dishing out criticism, but he might not be very good at taking it.
Yeah, exactly.
But guys, again, going back to my criticism of Demetrio as a coach a year ago, we're seeing all the reasons why. Because you got to have a backbone to deal with this sort of stuff. And when you think about it, there's not that many. Katie Walker is not someone who I see very often, like Latrell, grabbing headlines.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure he's a big personality, but there's really not that many big personalities there. There really isn't. Outside of Latrell, who is there? Damien Cook is a humble guy. He's not one of those. Who else? Who's the other big personality outside of Latrell Mitchell?
No,
At South.
the only thing there is that somehow Latrell is the heartbeat of that team, and there might not be massive personalities, but if Latrell's feeling down, the whole team feels down.
Yeah.
If Latrell's feeling up, the whole team feels up.
Well, then
it's the most funniest
Well,
thing
then if I'm a
haven't
coach,
seen.
I don't
haven't
want that
seen
person
it.
in my
Nor
group.
do I.
No, he's
Nor-
gotta go.
Nor would I.
He's gotta go.
You know what? I'm a supporter.
There's too much downside to it.
I've always been a supporter. You've heard me on this pod being a supporter of Latrell. I've stuck up for the guy. I'm waning off him. I love him. I've seen him single-handedly destroy teams. I love seeing that type of style of player, be it fullback, be it lock. I don't really care where he plays. But Latrell, like I said, do yourself. If you have any care for JD, do JD a favour and start playing well. Start being positive, because next year you have a new coach. Maybe that's what you want. Maybe you want a new coach. I don't know. Maybe you want a new coach.
You made a good point, Artie, because what he did was really disrespectful to his coach.
It was, yeah.
Because it's basically showing everyone, as far as Demetrio goes, you have no control over your own troops here.
You know what Dimitri said?
No.
I encourage my players to have their own voices.
Yeah, well,
Sticking up for him.
that's
He's
a
sticking
that-
up for him.
He's sticking up for him, but is that the right thing?
response?
Would Wayne say that?
That's a spineless response, right?
I agree.
That's a good question. Would Wayne say
Would Wayne
that?
say that? Okay, make it easier. Would Robbo, because I know you know Robbo better, would Robbo say that?
Yeah, it's a good question. A very good question.
Robbo
would Bellamy? That's the other
Bellamy?
one. I'd love to know what Bellamy would do with this.
Bellamy.
That would be
Robbo
interesting.
defended Spencer Lenu
Yeah,
on
he
the
did,
night
exactly.
of that, and then he came out a few days later and he said I was wrong for doing that.
He did say that, did he?
Yeah,
he
yes.
said that.
He goes, I was wrong for doing that because I didn't know the full context of what happened and all that. Now I do.
I'm going to answer your question about
Robbo.
Bellamy.
Oh, Bellamy, yeah.
Okay. I don't know, on SEN, Cameron Smith's got a show, Fridays at 12 o'clock for an hour. And he said that anytime I pissed off Craig, he wouldn't talk to me for weeks. He would ignore me.
Well, the Brandon Smith thing that we mentioned before, do you remember what happened with that?
He didn't speak.
It made him train by himself.
Yeah, made him train by himself. That's right. Yeah. So there you go. That's what he'll do to Latrell. Wouldn't speak to him, make him train by himself.
And Wayne Bennett will never do anything publicly.
No,
Like
he wouldn't do-
behind
no,
closed doors.
I'm sure. Well, about last week about the Dolphins, you know what he said? They asked Farmsworth what was Wayne like last week. He goes, "Oh, he didn't say much to us, but you could tell he was angry."
Sometimes silence is golden, mate. You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, look, unless you guys sorry, we've been doing all the talking tonight.
No, that's
Is there
okay.
anything you
That's
want to add to that?
No, not really, mate. You've covered it all. No, it's all good.
Just
But,
Latrell, shame,
yeah, I know,
Pull
it
your
was pretty
finger out.
disgraceful behaviour.
I've said
Pull
it-
your finger out, Latrell.
I've said it multiple. I know it sounds like I'm Latrell bashing. I've said it
No, you're
multiple
not.
times.
You're not.
I said
You're
it.
not.
I said it earlier tonight. I think he can be the best fullback in the game, but just shut up and focus on footy. Forget about staying in the headlines for every other reason apart from your game.
It's also the media throwing microphones in front of people's mouths
No,
after a game.
no, I don't buy
Your
that.
emotions. You've got a lot of emotions.
I don't buy that because that's like Ricky Stewart 25 years
Yeah.
after he started coaching.
He knows
still
exactly
complaining
what he's
about doing
doing.
a press conference.
Yeah.
But you're a
knows-
professional. It's part of the gig. You know it's coming. If you're not up for it, send them to someone else. Right?
Can I answer you there?
Send them to the captain.
Yeah.
No, I answer. Let me answer.
And he knew what he was doing because he even
Yeah, he
said,
knew.
I don't care that I'm swearing.
Yeah.
He knew what he was
Yeah.
doing. Let me answer your question. This is what I believe in on first grade rugby league players. We give them too much of a pass, of a hall pass. The minute you sign a contract, and I don't care if you're getting 300 or as Ponga 1.4, okay, you're a professional.
Yeah.
Okay, that is your job. When's the last time I went to a client and said, F this and F that, I never. And any time I've done it, which hasn't been often in my 40 years, okay, I got punished, and I got punished in the hardest way. I mean, my reputation and in my pocket.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're making excuses. I don't know. Oh, they're too young. I'll give them training.
Yeah.
No, I don't buy. I don't buy any of that crap. Honestly,
I don't
they're
either.
full-time professionals.
Exactly.
They get all this wellness crap done through the clubs and all that. With Mitchell's, that's the example we're discussing tonight. It's abundantly clear to everyone that he knew exactly what he was doing. He did it on purpose.
Did it on purpose.
And he was unapologetic about it. And again, I'm not criticizing the guy for swearing, because I swear like a drunken sailor, but I try not to swear on this podcast too much, because there's a time and a place for everything. And live radio, live television is not a time and place for a professional rugby league player to do that.
Do you think he was giving a message to Dimitri?
Well, again, if he was, Demetrio needs to show he's got a backbone and respond.
Yeah.
And that's been my criticism.
Well,
I've been saying
saying
for 2 years now, he's not the coach that everyone thinks he is.
he's not,
And we're seeing these are the reasons why, right? So this is his chance to prove everyone wrong. He needs to have a backbone. But this is all being swept under the rug because the NRL hierarchy is sweeping it under the rug.
Even the NRL don't swept under. Can you believe
Yeah,
it?
that's
Landis is
disappointing.
no one's heard anything from him.
He's more money.
And Abdo, the CEO, said there'll be no punishment, but I'd like to have a meeting with him so we can have a conversation about it. Why does this guy get special treatment? Seriously. By the way, the meeting wouldn't be hard to set. They're next door to each other.
Yeah.
The NRL and the Roosters headquarters.
They are too.
Right? They're a stone's throw. So it wouldn't be hard to walk over and have the meeting where the Roosters train, right?
True.
What about if they I know Latrell likes a lot of the attention, right? What if they do a media ban on him? So no media for about a month.
Well, that would be smart.
It might hurt him a little bit because he's going, you know what, no one's looking at me anymore.
But that's
so.
what he needs.
Well, they should do it.
He needs to focus on his
Well, the
footy.
club can do it. The
Yeah,
club can say, you know
absolutely.
what, we're going to put a media ban on you.
Well,
we don't want you to be in front of
Again,
me.
the
won't
coach,
like it.
the
Exactly.
coach should go to his
That's
boss.
the only way.
The coach should probably, considering Souths have lost their first 2 games, right?
Yeah.
What did they lose? 10 out of their last 12 or something?
Yeah.
So they're on a pretty horrid run when you look at their last 15, 16 NRL
And nothing's
games, right?
changed from last year.
It would
Nothing's changed.
probably be a good time for Demetrio to go to his bosses and say, hey, I want a media ban on the whole team for a month,
Yeah.
right? The whole team. Coaches have done that before.
Yeah. Ricky's done it.
The whole team. The whole team. Because right now we need to focus on our footy and not all this other crap. Latrell was in the headlines last week for everything except South. It was all about Spencer Leniu and Ezra Mann.
Yeah.
Talk about distractions. They don't need it.
No, they don't need it. Not now.
They don't need it. Here's the thing. As a fan, that what I've learnt over the years that maybe some of these coaches don't understand. As a youngster, I used to get, as we all do or did, I used to get attached to players. And I used to be gutted when certain players left.
I still
Right?
do.
I still do.
But I don't anymore
Oh, my
because
God.
I realised that over the years, players will come and go.
business.
Very rarely does one player spend their whole career at a club or whatever, right? And some you're happy to see go and some you wish wouldn't. But at the end of the day, they're going to come and go. I don't care if you get the best player in the history of rugby league, someone who doesn't even exist, he's that good at the moment, signs for your club tomorrow. Doesn't matter how good this person is. In 10 years' time, it's a different picture, right? Players come and go, right? So a coach whose career could go 20, 30 years or whatever has to realise that, like Trent Robertson has, and say, this guy's not bigger than the club and he's not bigger than me. And quite frankly, Latrell, for all this crap, you're not delivering.
You're not delivering.
Right? So either shut up, get your head straight and start playing, or you're going to go.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And you know what? The fans will be outraged and all this other crap. And you know what? In 12 months' time, everyone will have forgotten.
You
it.
know what? I think the fans have had a gutful.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Does anyone know? Have you got any South fans that you know? I wonder what their feelings are towards him. Like, do they?
Yeah, I do. I do. Look, I mean, the thing is, everyone knows what he's capable of.
That's the thing.
And that's what you hang on to.
Yes.
Right? That's what you hang on to. But they're not, they think he's given the club a bad name
Yeah.
because he's just trying too much, you know, with his Instagram posts and all this stuff. Someone just needs to muzzle him.
Yeah. We had a similar thing with, I remember when Mundine was at St. George.
Oh, yeah.
I loved him as a player. I thought he was fantastic, but sometimes he'd say some stuff on the press and you'd think, please, no, don't say that. You know what I mean? Like, please, Anthony, don't say that. I love you to death as a player, but some of the things he said.
My personal favourite
as a fan, you got upset. You got a bit like, come on, man, please. You're better than this.
And my personal favourite was I didn't get picked for representative football because I'm Indigenous. Mind you, the Australian captain was Indigenous at the time.
Yeah, well, he didn't get picked because there's 3-5 better than him at the time.
A sensational player, though. But
Oh, yeah.
even he gave it to Latrell with the comments that he said about the monkey gate. So
Yeah.
goes to show.
But then he went on to say that in the same thing that it's not an issue if a black guy calls a black guy a monkey, but if a white guy says it to us, then that's different.
Yeah.
Anyway, good thing
I don't get
Instagram and TikTok wasn't around when Mundine was playing, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's move on. Let's move on from it.
Before we move on,
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on the Benji apparently not doing enough hours behind the desk?
Oh, yeah, okay. Good point.
That to me,
Well, so by the way, that's moving on from it anyway. But
Let's move on.
that to me was disgusting journalism.
Whoa!
It was just a media attack at, like, it's worse than St. George's Copper. Now it's West time. He hadn't even played one game, and they're criticising. Imagine they won the next 5. That article would look like the biggest rubbish, mate.
I agree with you.
That's so wrong, questioning a guy's coaching ability without him even going there. Give him at least a season, and then you can judge him. And apparently he does go 6 a.m. Apparently he does go early. So whoever said that, it's lies. I wish they'd just start suing these guys for defamation. If it's honestly fake, Benji, defamation, hey, go for it.
The thing is, context is king.
It's
right?
joke.
In any scenario, okay? Now, he's probably made a statement, and I'm just assuming here, something along the lines of, which everyone would, I'll work my butt off, but I make time for my family as well.
Yeah.
That's what exactly.
And all of a sudden, he works 6 hours a day. All of a sudden, they're saying he works 6 hours a day, right?
What a joke.
And the thing is, I mean, there are coaches, they say, like, I think they said Bellamy or Hasler or something, they're there at 5 a.m. and they're up until 1 a.m. No, they're not.
No.
They're not. And if they are, they're having 8 hours off during the day, right?
They're not.
They've got a staff that's running the team, doing this part, doing that part, doing that part, and then they'll come in and run their own sessions, whether it's video or whatever. A lot of them, Bellamy does defense, he doesn't do attack.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like the good old days where one coach does everything.
No.
But at the end of the day, let Benji find his own rhythm. Look, he's been coached by some pretty spectacular coaches in his
Exactly.
time, right? Including Bennett.
Bennett, Sheen.
Let him find his own style. And for Christ's sake, like Artie said, he hadn't even coached one NRL
Exactly.
game yet, right? I'm sick to death of it as well.
It's
Like,
terrible.
Made
It's
missing
terrible.
They're
journalism.
just looking for headlines, and it's pretty poor. It's pretty poor.
Attacking a guy like that. Now, I remember when Bennett was at St. George, I used to hear stories. Bennett was never at the ground as often as they think. He did a few hours a week, a day at the ground. How come there wasn't stories back then?
Sometimes less is more.
Exactly. He's got all these support staff. He's got John Morris. He's got all these guys around him. It's rubbish journalism, just trying to put pressure on a guy who hasn't even started yet. It's pathetic.
It's a shame.
And
damn
Benji's probably learning along the way that he should be careful what he says in front of who as well.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, in the press, he arced up. He arced up at the
Did he respond to it?
Well, they put it on him.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I
What
think
did he say?
it was Webster. And yeah, no, look, he got upset. He got riled up.
Yep.
He goes,
Don't blame him.
He goes, I'm the first one in. And yeah, I pick up my kids at 4:00 in the afternoon sometimes.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, sure. I have a work-life balance. Yeah, sure. You know what I mean?
What's the problem?
But the issue is that he hasn't coached the game. How do we know his system doesn't work?
But it's not. It's just putting in 18 hours a day isn't always going to give you results either. Like it's
Shocking.
it's certainly one thing that you can't generalize across the board. Everyone has their own style. There's a lot of things they all do the same, obviously. But I just think attacking a guy who hasn't even started yet, you know, I mean, come on. Really? He hadn't even had his coached his first game yet.
It was bizarre.
Officially.
It was bizarre. It was just clickbait, I reckon. It was bizarre.
And the worst part is that someone from within the club leaked that.
Did they?
Yeah, someone from within the club.
Oh, no.
Right?
Here we go
The same
again.
problem they've been having for a long time. So there's
we
still
go
obviously, I don't know if it was a player, I don't know if it was an administrator, but it was somebody from within the club leaked it to the media, which is why they brought it up to him.
Here we go again.
But I'm not happy about it.
I didn't know that.
Well, luckily they got Richardson there now, and he'll sort that out because
Yeah.
he's a very good administrator.
By the way, did you see that issue with the West Tigers sponsorship?
No.
No, what happened?
One of their jersey sponsors pulled out.
Yeah.
I forget who it was now, but it was in the news last week because Graham Richardson sat them down and said that they wanted to put another sponsor on the jersey as well. And this other sponsor is the direct competitor of the existing sponsor.
Oh,
So the exact words the sponsor used were, "You can stick it up your ass." And he withdrew the sponsorship altogether.
Oh, really?
wow.
Or he threatened to. I don't know what came of it after that. But if you look it up, you'll find it in
Jeez.
I saw it on Fox Sports.
That's interesting.
Wow.
So let's move on from that. Want to look at Jerome Hughes got a 1-game suspension for pushing the referee to the ground. Did you guys catch that?
Did.
Thoughts?
Well, Tyson Frizzell got a week for just brushing the guy's shorts, so it's a fair result. I think he should have got more compared to what Tyson
Really?
got. Yeah. You can't go touching refs, man. You can't push them out of the way.
Did he push him out of the way?
Oh, it doesn't matter. You can't push him out of the
But
way.
he did get in his way as he was preparing to make a tackle.
Doesn't matter.
How about the kick out incident?
That was ridiculous. That should have been a try. But look, it's you can't. No, if you're going to suspend Tyson Frizzell,
I'm with you.
you blame the NRL. They shouldn't have suspended Tyson Frizzell that many years ago. You got to continue it, mate. Sorry. They dig their own grave, you know what I mean? And they don't realise, it's going to happen
How long
again.
ago was that? How long ago was
Doesn't matter. It was he was playing for St George back then, but still.
4 years ago.
So it was about 4 or 5 years ago.
that?
But,
It's pretty hard to compare then because it was
no, but
quite a long time ago.
you can't go touching refs.
You can't touch
Well,
it.
that's
If they let him get away,
can't
then
touch- you
it
can't
flows
touch
down to the
refs.
junior.
No, you
games.
can't touch refs, but that was bizarre. I don't know.
He could have avoided him.
I think
It was avoidable. That's what Allensley said. Hughes' one was avoidable. The other one wasn't avoidable.
He probably could have avoided
He
it,
could
I
have
think,
avoided
yeah.
that ref.
Yeah.
okay.
And that's why he got it. And that's why it's a fair call. I'm going to support Annesley. Hey!
For once. Once.
For once. But I think he should have got, 1 week is enough. Yeah, because Tyson got 1 week.
Yeah.
The kick out one,
I think I told you before earlier in the pod. I think they're struggling. I think the refs are struggling.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting, all the players are getting athletic, all the game's getting quicker, and they're not. But that's just my
And look,
opinion.
just lastly, before we get into the games, one more point. The NRL is doing an audit on all suburban grounds, and they've already confirmed that 2025 will be Leichhardt Oval's last season in the NRL
Oh, wow.
really?
because
Sad.
it doesn't meet OH&S standards. And I love the range that they provided. They said it will take between 20 and 50 million to fix it. But you might as well say it'll take between 0 and 100, right?
Wow.
I love the range. Either way, no one's willing to front the money. So the council's not going to do it.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister's not going to do it. It's in his electoral seat.
Oh, yeah.
That sounded good, didn't it? I don't know anything about politics. I read it. But he's not a big fan of stadiums. He's trying to get re-elected. So basically no one's willing to pay for it. And
That's it.
and I believe they're looking to the model, like you said earlier, which is pretty much used in European soccer, where they just want all the games at the big stadiums.
Oh, okay.
So
Big
San
stadiums.
Siro.
which
Big
is sad
stadiums
because
pay.
it signals the death of the suburban ground. So I believe Belmore's on the same
Yep.
path.
Belmore. The Panthers are getting upgraded,
They're getting upgraded.
so that
Yeah.
might dodge a bullet. But
Yeah, they're going to play out of Parramatta for next year
are they?
while the stadium's redone. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I might consider to get that. Yeah, no, the death of the suburban ground is
It's a shame.
very, very clear. Look, how Shark Park's going to get away with it? Somehow they
What,
reckon
they got a
Shark
crowd
Park.
of 13,000 capacity or something.
Who's doing the audit? Is it Eddinghausen again?
Bloody
Gavin Miller and Eddinghausen again. Jeez.
Mate, the prison mate, to go to the prison. There's a reason I call it. There's a reason I call it the prison. It just looks like you're closed in.
So does that
I
mean,
don't know.
But does that mean the Tigers will play out of Campbelltown or
Campbelltown's not good enough for it.
they play 4 games at Parramatta?
I don't know. Parramatta.
Like how can a club with 4 home grounds not have a home
one,
ground?
yeah. Well, I hope they upgrade Campbelltown if that's the case, or if they're going to make everybody play out of Parramatta.
Well, Campbelltown doesn't have the OH&S issues that Leichhardt does.
Well, then go to look.
Several sections of Leichhardt are closed. Yeah. They said Leichhardt will continue to operate for lower grades.
Yeah, for youngsters.
But it doesn't meet NRL standard for safety.
You know what? If this means that the West Tigers play out of Campbelltown full time, I'm a fan because I think that's where the growth is.
You know what? I'm no genius, but I said this 20-something years ago. I used to go to the Apia Club a lot. Mm-hmm. It was one of my Sunday nightclub
Remember it
that
well.
I frequented. When the Apia Club went broke, which was inevitable because it was being run by Italians, the club board, they went in there in V-dubs and they all left with mercs.
Yeah, of course.
And then the club went bankrupt. But I remember saying at the time, this is it. Balmain Tigers need to buy this club and make it Balmain Leagues Club with right next door to the stadium.
Great idea.
It's a no-brainer, but it never happened. They had their leagues club on Victoria Road. It ended up in Five Dock Bowling Club, and now it just doesn't exist at all. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the games, right?
Sure.
The first one Thursday night, Broncos 28 points to 18 over the Rabbitohs.
Mm-hmm.
What did we think? I mean, Broncos played pretty well.
They did. It was. Walsh versus Latrell, the 2 superstar fullbacks were playing. First half, lots of errors. Completion rates, I think South did 10 out of 19, and I think Broncos had 14 from 23. So there was a lot of errors in the first half. Rabbits, 0 from 2, not good. We spoke about it before. Lachlan Ilias, not one of his best games. Absolute shocking game.
And they got the Roosters this week, but
and they got the Roosters, exactly. That's the Broncos' 4th win out of the last 5 against them. Both teams struggling, but the Broncos looked like they wanted it more at the end. They played really well. I like that. There was a bit of talk about Corey Oates being dropped and bringing in this Mariner guy. I can see why Walters brought in this Mariner guy. Yeah. He's got a bit of pace, and that chip over the top right at the end with that small bit of space on the sideline was very impressive from young Dean Mariner. So hats off to him. But yeah, it's a great game for the Broncos, and good to see them back. Also, Latrell scored his 100th try.
He did right at the end.
Right at the end. So that's a
where him and Walsh both got a cramp.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What do you think, George?
Messy, clunky, mistake.
First half. Second half improved.
Improved a little bit. Yeah, improved a little bit. Not as much. Look, the Broncos are nowhere near the form that got them to the grand final. You take out Reece Walsh, and not that they're going to lose, but they won't look as good. The kid is amazing.
Yeah.
How he's when he scored that try when they kicked it and Latrell fumbled it and he scored. I'm not sure if that was the cramp thing. He got the ball and he just accelerated. He passed 3 defenders. Then all of a sudden there's numbers.
Yeah.
He just took 3 out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's electric.
He's electric.
He's electric. Yeah. He's 22, I think, or 21, 22.
I think he's 21.
Is he 21? My God. He's just going to get better. He's going to get stronger. He's going to get faster. You know what? He's got an attitude. Yeah, look, players like that have got attitudes. Kobo at centre with ball in hand.
So good.
Devastating.
Yeah.
He still must have failed maths because he can't count yet and he can't number up. But once they sort that out, maybe they'll give you some mathematical training. And you know what? South Sydney's pack, there's your problem there. We talk about Latrell. It's very true.
Yeah.
But Latrell puts the cancer all the way through their team. And the last time I saw this South Sydney pack bash up a team, it must have been Wayne Bennett. Wayne Bennett was the coach back then.
Yeah.
So they got issues. They got problems. The kid coming in, Hawkins, will do a better job, but not the golden bullet they're looking for.
Yeah.
Not the golden bullet for. Look, I found it entertaining. The Damien Cook sin bin, I'll question that sin bin. I'll question it. But look, you know what? His best mate there, Adam Reynolds, done a dirty on him. And look, I guess it's all.
Well, they kept him trialless. They didn't score in that period, that 10-minute.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good from South. So they held them out.
They did. Look, it was just clunky and messy. I actually enjoyed watching it because I enjoyed watching Reece. But as a game, it wasn't a high-quality game. Stop-start. Broncos won and move on.
There's a big thing that was going on for the last how many years. It was Ronaldo versus Messi. I feel I can see the same thing happening. Kalen Ponga versus Reece Walsh. Two absolute guns. Oh, I reckon in about 10 years' time, we're going to be comparing who was better out of those two because I think both
hope
on
so,
the day.
because when you look historically, my favourite eras of the game was when you had Sterling Mortimer, Kenny Lamb, Stuart Langer.
Yeah.
Look, there's Wally Lewis, Kenny, or Wally Lewis Daly. I mean, there was always, this sounds ridiculous, but Brett Camorley kept Andrew Johns out of the number 7 jumper for the rep teams. Johns played hooker. And I remember Bob Fulton coaching Australia, and they said to him, why don't you pick Johns at halfback? He goes, because he's the best hooker in the world as well, right? But yeah, I hope you're right. I've got Walsh as my Dalian Player of the Year this year.
Yeah, he's looking good. It's a shame one of them is a New South Welshman because in Origin, imagine having Ponga versus Walsh with the two strong teams. That'd be phenomenal, but we're not going to see that because they're both Queenslanders.
Billy's got a decision who to pick at fullback.
Yeah.
Because both of them
Huge.
at that time.
Can I ask you guys a quick question? With Kalen Ponga, Reece Walsh, James Tedesco, Tom Trbojevic, is Latrell even in the top 5?
No. Not a fullback, anyway.
Fullbacks.
On his day?
No, just period.
Even on his day, I wouldn't put him ahead of probably Reece Walsh on his day is phenomenal. Ponga. I'd pick Ponga or Walsh ahead of him. That's for sure.
If we're talking on his day, then we're talking everyone on their day.
I know, exactly. That's what I meant. I'd pick Ponga and
I don't even have him in my top 5.
Walsh on their day ahead of Latrell.
As a complete player,
consistent.
Walsh, Ponga, and I can't believe I'm saying this, Ponga is a better player than Walsh. And why I say that, because Reece has got an error in him or two, but it's just a matter of time. In 2 years, there'll be no errors. Because how old's Ponga? I think he's 2 or 3 years older than Reece. So, in a couple of years. But right this moment, if I pick the fullback, it'll be Ponga, just because of the errors. Because Reece is probably more explosive.
So I'd pick Reece because he does have those errors in him, but he reminds me of the team that concedes 3 goals but scores 5. He just creates something from that. I mean, there's so much talent out there at the moment. But
I'll put it this way: I was watching that game, and the Wonder Boy sat next to me, and he was waiting just for one thing, to see Reece do something. And guess what? Reece didn't disappoint him.
Didn't take long.
It didn't take long to disappoint him. And when he saw what Reece done, he walked away. Okay, he knows no other player, but he knows Reece.
My wife's the same. My wife doesn't watch much rugby league, but when she saw Reece, she goes, "Who is that guy? That guy's phenomenal." And the first thing she said is, "How strong is he?" And you don't picture that with Walsh. She goes, "He's fast, but I can see him being really strong. Like he's hard to put down." He is. He's very strong.
That might be her way of telling you to start hitting the gym,
I think
Artie. Start hitting the weights.
Absolutely.
Look, Friday night, the Sharks opened up Friday night with a 25 points to 6 win over the Bulldogs. George, let's turn to you on this one.
Look, we'll go to the Bulldogs. They're better. They look better. It was probably the best I've seen them in 2 seasons. Kickout actually had a good game. Billy actually had a good game.
I thought they played pretty well.
Burton ran.
Burton
ran. If it wasn't for that try that we spoke about, Billy Kickout, which we would have went in at 12-6, maybe we would have came out in a different mindset.
Different game.
But when the game got down to, the latter stages and fatigue set in, the Cronulla Falls just took over and started just rolling over him, and you could tell what was going to happen eventually. But look, if they play like that all year, I'll be happy. If they lose every game and give that effort, I'm good.
Yeah.
I can't complain because I saw them actually try.
Yeah.
I think there's a problem with our number 7. I think there's probably a better halfback than
Give him
Hutchison.
time. Give him time. He's all right. He's reliable. He had a couple of errors in him on Saturday.
There's a kid which I don't. There's a kid in Reggie's.
Yeah.
From the Gold Coast.
It's Sexton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good too, man.
What did
I
you
think he's
David?
the only reason he's a genuine 7.
Yeah.
Drew is a utility player.
Yeah.
He'll play centre. He'll play fullback. He'll play lock.
Hmm.
He'll play 7.
Yeah.
And he can play 7, but he doesn't create.
Yeah.
And the problem is that Burton doesn't create, and we've got 2 players each side which don't create.
I think you got too many utilities. The 6 and 7 have to be specialists.
Yeah.
Positions.
Well, yeah. I thought Connor Tracy was good. And our pack, they tried hard. Yeah, I'm not saying they punched any holes through them, but they tried hard. But you know what? This Cronulla team, and I know what you say, Nick. You're going to say that the season starts in the semi-finals for this team because they're going to make the top 6. Okay,
I believe so.
they will. But I'll tell you what, they're looking good, huh? They're a good team. They're exciting to watch. I like watching this team play. They can play the middle, then they go to the edges, then they go to the edges, then they go to the wings. They're good to watch.
They had a stat last year. Artie, you might know it better than me. I think they lost 8 out of 10 games to top 8 teams or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think they won 4 games against top 8 teams or something like that.
So they've got to prove themselves against the big guns. No
They do.
disrespect to the Bulldogs, but they've got to prove themselves against the big teams.
They do, and next year they've got a front rower, which I think is going to change the fortunes of this team. But they've got a guy called Hazelton who comes off the bench, which is a point of difference. Will Teagan, is it?
Teague Wilton.
Teague Wilton. Was he there last year? Was he off the bench?
I saw him the last year. Yeah, I think it was more off the bench.
Off
but
the bench.
He's a great player.
He's changed a few things. So Fitzy's changed a few things because the backs are not the issue here.
Yeah.
The backs are not the issue. They're dynamic. It's the middles. It's the middles that are the issue. And he's changed it up. He's got Toby Rudolph starting now, which he was a bench player usually. And you know what? For 20 minutes, he gets the job done. All the forwards have to do is give space to Nico, and Nico and Trindle do the. I enjoy watching them play. I enjoy watching Cronulla play.
Yeah.
I really.
And all of these
do.
teams will improve. We're at round 2,
Of course,
right?
And I hope the Dogs improve as well.
Well, they have, I think.
They have improved in 7 days.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think the score reflected this game.
He didn't.
No way.
he didn't.
I thought Canterbury could have easily been up 18-6 at halftime. They got to try to sell out. The guy was out, so it was a fair try. It was Carraz.
Yeah, he was out.
And that kick-out try, he wouldn't have stopped him.
He wouldn't have
The referee was in the way. That wasn't the shepherd.
No.
That's the thing with it's. They don't know how to rule obstruction. Obstruction is when it's clear that the guy's blocking him scoring a try. He was going to score regardless of the referee being in his way.
Yeah,
But anyway,
when someone's actually impeded.
yeah, exactly. So the Bulldogs played a better first half than the Sharks. I thought they did.
On a better
They did. They crossed the line 3 times to 1.
held their own.
They were pretty good.
They held their
crossed.
own.
Yeah, they did. They did
you
very
see
well.
Serrato's press conference?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, well, he was right. He was right. He was proud of them.
Yeah.
They did better. They're defending better.
Yeah.
and
It
what
was
I
a
like
big
is,
improvement.
Yeah, and what I like about their defense is that their defense is structured. It's not. They don't miss one-on-one tackles, which is a big thing last year. But there's always help from the inside, coming from the inside.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. And like Reece makes most of his breaks because there's lazy inside trailers.
Yeah.
That's how he makes most of his breaks, off that big left foot step he does,
Yeah.
or the acceleration getting on shoulders. So the Bulldogs last week really tied in hard,
Yeah.
and even the tries that they scored, Cronulla were all out on the wings.
Yeah.
So
It was a similar story in their trial game. Was very close as well. I think it was
I can't remember the
2
score.
tries to 1. Yeah,
but for 60 minutes it was pretty
Yeah.
close. Yeah.
Well, the Bulldogs lost their front row in the first minute,
Yes.
literally off the first hit. So they were 1 down, and that's one thing with HIA. If the guy's out for the rest of the game, surely you can bring the 18th man in early because they had to play 79 minutes without
Yeah,
an
I
extra
agree.
1 sub. So that was unlucky by the Bulldogs. Nakora, that hit, I reckon other referees would have sent him off.
It would have been. It's a send off.
It's a send-off.
It's a send-off.
So Cronulla's lucky he stayed on the whole game. He only got a 10
I
minute.
didn't want to say anything about that,
But that was a big hit. He got him. He got him flush, man.
Thank you for saying.
Cronulla get their fair share of luck, don't they?
Oh,
They
yeah.
do.
Oh yeah,
They do.
Thank you for bringing that up. I didn't want to bring that up because I think that people would have thought that I'm being sour grapes. That
was a clear hit.
send off.
Yep.
Or it was a forceful hit to the head.
By the way, there's nothing wrong with being sour
Yeah,
grapes.
I
We're
know,
all
I know,
fans here,
I know, but
right?
I just don't want to.
But this is not a case of sour grapes. That was a high shot. That was a clear high shot.
Hit a forceful hit to the head.
2 weeks off he's got.
Did he get 2 weeks?
He's got 2 weeks.
Well, there you go.
Early guilty plea 2 weeks.
So that-
or he'll
that-
get 3 weeks.
And
if
he didn't leave the field.
Yeah.
He didn't get Simbin,
Oh,
did
I
he?
think got
Got
Simbin.
10.
Did he get Simbin?
Got 10 minutes.
Yeah,
He got 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Got 10 minutes.
But yeah, that was a bad hit. And that was in the 5th minute.
Yeah.
So we've got one guy knocked out off, and the other guy literally gets his head nearly knocked off with Nikora. So Dogs did it tough. I thought the first half was gutsy. The only thing I got with the Dogs, I've got to stick with this team. Pick and stick. I reckon this team,
Yeah.
keep them.
Yeah.
They're doing all right.
Well, I'm sure he won't change the
Don't
team.
change it.
He won't
So
change
does
the
that
team.
mean you leave Addo Carr out?
Oh, when he comes back, obviously he'll go back in there.
He's going to go back in, yeah. But I agree. Stick
Yeah.
with the team. Stick with him.
Finucane played his 250th.
Yeah.
14 wins out of the last 13 for the Sharks, so they've got the wood on his hard.
Yeah.
And did you know that you haven't won there since 2011?
Wow.
It's a long time.
Wow. I can't remember what I thought.
Yeah,
There you go.
I was sorry to George Bash, but I was looking up the stats the other day. I think between Parramatta and Canterbury, I think it's like 17 wins out of the last 19 meetings or something like that.
Yeah, we're killing it. Yeah, we're killing it. We're doing
But
it all.
look, moving on, the following game, the Panthers 26-18 over the Eels. Penrith's just too good in this one. I thought Parrot played pretty well, defended pretty well, but I think Penrith were just too good.
I didn't know Brad Drew was back.
Hey, Drew.
Who's that?
That Lussick guy. I thought it was Brad Drew. I'm looking at him going, is Brad Drew playing? It looks exactly like they've got the same body shape, the same head, everything.
They had they lost Bailey Simonson.
Bailey Simonson
I
got...
think it was the 5th minute.
Yeah, so they lost him.
so-
Big loss.
So yeah,
Gutsy win.
reshaping the back line
Big loss.
probably affected them.
Yeah.
But I was pretty happy with the way they played.
You've got notes. I didn't go for it.
Oh, they did it tough, but the Eels, and I thought it was a gutsy effort to get the score that they got. In the old days, correct me if I'm wrong, but tripping in the 70s and 80s, that was the big no-no. You were sent off and you were suspended at least 6 weeks. How come now it's nothing? How come all of a sudden tripping now
That was a pretty
is
bad
just
one
a
from
warning?
Miller.
It was a bad one. He should,
Tripping and spitting, yeah.
and he's got nothing out of that. He just got a fine out of it.
Should have been sent
Which
off.
what changed? How come it was such a bad thing back then and now it's like a nothing? It's crazy.
Because insults have overtaken.
No, but tripping.
The insults have overtaken the physical stuff now.
I don't understand that, Artie. I don't understand that.
If I was a coach, I'd be telling all my players, just trip him, man. You might, it's if it's a short try, go for it. You're not going to copy
He
anything.
should have been.
He
sent
should have been.
off.
Exactly.
If not for the first one, for the second one.
Terrible.
For the
And you know
high
what
hit.
I don't like, and this is not part of standard tripping, but I've never liked this. You know when players tackle players and they're standing and they put the old leg behind them to push them over?
Yeah.
I've never liked that. I've never liked that.
Alfie Langer.
Yeah, I've never liked that.
Alfie Langer style.
To me, that's almost like tripping.
Yeah.
He looks dangerous to me. I reckon you'll leg
Yeah,
break easily.
yeah.
I don't know what
I've never liked the look of that. But Penrith for Penrith, you know, Parrot held their own. They went into half time leading by 2 points, and then Penrith like bang bang, 2 tries in 2 minutes. It's just Penrith.
Like Georgie said, Eels went through the front door, mate, and they scored a couple of right in the middle. I thought they were pretty good. But
And they said, they actually said they would in the pre-game interview. Moses said, "We're going to go through the middle. We're not going to try and go around them."
They did.
Yeah.
But one thing, Penrith just need to make finals. I don't care. However they make it. But their new thing now is, and I've noticed with Penrith, they're playing with fatigue. They're just going to fatigue the team out. And then they know they're just going to get them in the end. Because that's what they did. Poor Parramatta, they were gone. Back into that second half, you can they had nothing in them. And that was just Penrith playing smart. Let's tie these guys.
Yeah.
Well done, Penrith.
If I was a Parramatta supporter, I would be sitting here in high spirits, Nicola.
Exactly.
No, I was happy with the performance.
I thought
it was pretty much what I expected.
Yeah, but I thought they've got the formula. Now, come the big occasions. Last week, Artie said to you that you beat them a lot of times, and you said not when it matters. I think this year might be the year that that comes around. They've got the formula. I was actually proud of Parramatta. The minute that Simonson went off, who was that guy who replaced Simonson? That youngster, what's his name? It's here. I don't know.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
They moved the guy from Manly on the wing. I forget his name as well now. I can't go mental blank.
Tuolagi?
Was it Tuolagi came on? Anyway, they continuously went to that right-hand side, Artie. They continuously went to that right-hand side, and Togo just was it
Tuolagi, yeah.
Tuolagi, yeah, and they baffed them.
Tago was amazing.
Yeah, Tago they just kept on going to that side, and they just baffed him. I think Morgan Harper, he's a centre, he's not a winger, and he just misreads things. I think he's a centre, he's not a winger.
Don't forget, Mike Acevo's still out.
Yeah, he's a big loss.
He's back in round 4.
Yep. So when he comes back, that gets sorted out. Penrith, you're right. Penrith is playing. Have a good look.
Yeah.
Ivan's adjusted the system to suit what he's got now. Juniors coach. Okay. So you're exactly right. They're playing the long game, the 80-minute game. Okay. The grind. Call it the grind. Call it whatever you want. Okay. They just know that they're going to win in the 79th minute.
Yep.
In the 79th minute, we'll be 1 point ahead.
Yep.
That's all we care.
Yep.
Okay, so we just grinding. Now, if things like Liada's try happens, it's a bonus.
Yeah.
It's a bonus. And what a try.
Yeah.
I thought there was some pretty poor defence. A couple of those tries could have been avoided.
They were
tired.
They're getting tired. Yeah. But Parramatta has got the blueprint, and I guess it's my favourite coach, Brad Arthur. He's got the blueprint, and he's the only coach that's got the blueprint to beat him. So I think next meeting it might be a little bit different. But this Penrith team should be the favourites. Actually, they should be the favourites. They'll just grind anyone out.
Saturday afternoon.
So it is amazing that every year they get ripped so many players, and they're still top 3.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
All their centres, you lost Crichton, and Taylor Main's been sensational.
Yeah.
Him and Tago, freaks.
But because they're different type of centres than Critter, and Taylor May there before last year? Was it?
Yeah, he was. He got injured. Remember? He got that suspension, then they deferred it for a year.
So he could play finals.
So he's just adjusted the system a little bit so he can suit the 2 centres. Amazing coach.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Saturday afternoon, the Raiders 32 points to 12 over the Tigers. Apparently Benji only clocked in 2 days that
week. You know what? It was. You know what intrigued me about that game? It was 2 young kids playing in the halves. I never really thought much of this Heath Strange guy, whatever his name is, Ethan Strange.
Yeah.
How good is that kid?
Very good.
That guy was fantastic. And what's Ricky done? Apparently all the Canberra teams flogged everyone that day. So they've got all these pathways working a treat. Ricky Stewart has got Canberra humming all the way down to junior levels. They're all playing the same systems and everything.
Stacked underneath.
That was brilliant.
Ricky Stewart's living and breathing that ethos of us against the world.
Yeah, loves it.
And again, there's an article on Fox Sports where there's a photo of the team in the change room, and you can see on the wall behind them, there's a Canberra poster that says "fuck 'em."
Yeah.
Right, so he's got this stuff all over the change rooms.
Yeah.
That mentality. That's it's a Wayne Bennett thing. Really.
Yeah.
He's a genius. He can do the world against us very good. Is that going to last all year? I'm not sure, but at the moment, it's working a treat.
Yeah.
Tigers got some defensive issues.
Now, with the Tigers, there was one positive in that. I saw a nice try. It was from Appy to Galvin to Buller, and then I think Stefano finished it. And it was nice. It was in the middle. Like, they got the makings of a little spine coming through.
And
Bud Sullivan, he was awful. And I've been talking him up. I love the guy. I thought it was going to be amazing. But
that try they conceded from the...
He's shocking.
That was... I've never seen... I don't remember ever seeing that.
Yeah. I can see why Flano now maybe thought, you know what, let this guy go.
I'm disappointed.
In,
I
the,
was
in the
disappointed.
first 10 minutes, I thought Canberra were going to tear them apart.
Yeah,
But they managed to come back.
they did.
But it was short-lived.
Ricky's 250th win
Wow.
as an NRL coach, which was awesome. And the Raiders, in the first 60 minutes, 1 error.
Wow.
So Ricky's got them working like a fine-oiled machine. Now, okay, it was against the Tigers who weren't performing the best.
No.
And last week it beat the Newcastle Knights. But at the moment, you can't fault the Raiders. These young kids that are coming through
Look,
that
you
are
can
playing.
you can only play
brilliant.
who's in front of you.
Exactly. And with a new half of Heath Strange, fantastic. Where did he find him? And
He's
good
been
on
there.
him.
He's been there for a few years.
There you
underneath.
go.
He's been, like we said at the pre-season show, Ricky's been stockpiling.
Yeah.
The last 3 years, he's just been stockpiling.
Yeah.
There's kids which are ready, who are Australian schoolboys 3-4 years ago, which played under 19s Origin. They haven't even seen a first grade. They're ready. They haven't seen first grade jumper. So he's just been stockpiling. Ricky says he's got a whole heap of them. Well, let's go through Canberra first because that's going to be easy. You know what? For his age, how good's Rapana?
yeah,
If you told me a 35 or 36, 37-year-old guy is doing what he's doing, okay, you'd say no way in the world. Physically, you can't do it. The guy's a machine.
Yeah.
He just keeps on getting bashed and keep on getting up.
how he's playing now is how he played 10 years ago.
I
It's
know.
not different.
No difference. No difference.
hasn't dropped at all.
No difference at all. You know what? I think Matthew Timiko, he's got spider webs. No one wants to touch him. No one wants to touch him. What's that all about? What's that all about?
I don't know, man.
He must be a strong runner. You know what? Low to the ground, really strong, really quick.
We should call him COVID. No one wants to touch
COVID?
him. No one wants
we'll
to go
call
to
him
him.
COVID. That's
COVID.
beautiful. We'll call
Oh,
COVID.
God, he's unbelievable.
You mentioned Ethan Strange. You know what? There's things he did which I didn't think he could do.
Yeah.
I'm going to go off him and I'm going to say, you know what, Jamal Fogarty, I savaged him last year, but you know, I'm right. He's a good halfback. I told you.
You liked him,
I
man.
liked him and I went off him last year. And this pack, you know what, how good are you? You got this pack and you think, you know what, I'm going to go and buy a guy called Morgan Smithies because I haven't got enough forwards. I haven't got enough forwards. And guess what? Zach Hoskin, yeah, come over as well. Come over as well. To have more forwards. Guess what? Morgan Smithies, I actually didn't think he was going to have such an impact on the NRL. I've been watching him all year in Super League, and don't get me wrong, he's very good, but as a grinder. But he's grown an extra leg.
Yeah.
It suits him to the T. Isn't it funny? But Zach Hosking,
Yep.
last year,
It's his fourth club or third club
you know
in
what?
3 years.
There's some coaches and some systems that get the best out of you. Ivan couldn't get the best out of him. He wasn't happy there. That's why he left.
Yeah.
He comes here. I don't know. Maybe Ricky's telling him everything he wants to hear. Yeah, you're beautiful. You're good. You're this. You're that. You know what I mean?
Sometimes a change of environment.
Have a
is all you
kebab
need.
here and
Change of environment.
he looks superhuman. Looks superhuman. And there's, you know what? There's 3 fools to come in. The redheaded guy.
Oh, yeah. Horse
Corey
race.
Horsburgh.
Yeah, the wanker horse bro there.
Yeah.
He's the come in, and there's
The cat. You call him the cat.
The
That's
cat's the
what you call him,
come
the
in,
cat.
and there's a few others. Okay, and I'm going to say it again humbly. You know about Hudson Young? You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. He's an Origin player. You're right.
Origin.
He's not a top NRL player. Like how can I say, an explosive, but as an Origin player, he's perfect. Niggly, hardworking, and he's got that thing about
He's
him.
got Tyson Gamble covered.
He's got Tyson.
Oh,
Gamble,
yeah.
nothing.
He's got
it
with the
covered.
sledging. He's a
He's got-
sledger.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's in our sledge team. I didn't think Tigers were that bad. I really didn't think Tigers were that bad. They were okay. You know what I mean?
It was their first game.
Once 20
of the
minutes went
season,
past, they got into the game. They're okay.
They
They're
started
okay.
pretty badly, but they recovered.
Yeah,
from it.
they were okay. They tried hard. They haven't scored 12 points, 2 tries, 12 points. It was 12-16 at one stage, something like that,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
It was 24-12 at half time.
24-12 at
Yeah.
half time. Okay, the game had got away on them, but they were all right.
Yeah.
And all I'm going to say about their players is this Gavin, Lachlan Galvin, sorry. Is he 18? I think he's 18 or
Sure.
19. Okay. I tell you what, he's one to watch because he's a good one. His attitude,
Yeah.
he belongs in first grade.
He did a Benji Marshall special. He threw the ball over the sideline.
Well, then again, he's been coached by the best there by Benj.
That was a Benji special.
I think this team will improve. I really do think this team will improve. You mentioned Sullivan. I think he'll be in the Regis next week, and I think
That's it. That was an unforgivable error. To be caught out like that from a tap.
I think Caesar will just go straight to halfback.
You know how much I think of him, mate. He's a fantastic player, but he's not
He
cutting it.
might be.
He was
He
replaced
might
by
be
Caesar in the second half.
Super League bound.
He was replaced by Caesar in the second half.
He was, yeah.
Was he?
Yeah. They hooked him
After-
after 55 minutes or something.
Yeah.
It's a shame. And Abby just, how good is he? He just tries so hard.
Yeah.
He's gold, that kid. 32-12. That's about right, yeah.
Yeah.
Gritty, grindy.
Let's move on to the two photo finishes
Oh, wow.
No.
Yeah.
of the day. So the first one was the Cowboys, 21 points to 20 over Newcastle in Golden Point. What a finish that was. Again, the Knights had the game won.
They did.
Conceded a try in the last minute,
Yeah.
which was pretty poor defence. But he missed a kick, which was pretty gettable for Valentine Holmes.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, they got it. I think it was Chad Townsend got the field goal in Golden Point.
Yeah.
What a game, but
It had a lot of errors in it, but Knights were the better team. I was surprised that they lost. Cowboys, but to their credit, hung in there, and it just goes to show how good their cattle is. They've got such a good roster that they can play poorly and still pull a win out. just by sheer brilliance from one guy from any one of their backline. They're just fantastic. Drinky needs to work on his defence. His attack is really good, but his defence was really let down the Cows, I think. Knights haven't won since 2015, so they've got a bit of a jinx there. But yeah, I felt sorry for the Knights. I thought they were good. I liked Adam Elliott's effort. I thought he was
good is he?
so strong.
two
How good
tries.
is he?
2 tries. He tried so hard, and it was one that got away from the Knights, unfortunately. What about you, George? What's
All
your
I can
thoughts?
say is, how did the Cowboys win?
Yeah, how?
They were poor.
They were.
They weren't good at all. Newcastle, they're not like the Newcastle of last year. So to think that we're going to see that last 6 weeks of Newcastle, forget about it.
Yeah.
It's a different team.
Their
different
coach
setup.
said that in the
Oh,
press
really?
as well. Yeah.
Okay, but they're a good team. They were the better team for about 60 minutes, if not 70. Drinky, if he could tackle, he would be an Origin player.
Yeah.
But he can't tackle. The only thing I say about Newcastle is they've got to make a decision. They're either going to stick with Gamble and Hastings.
Oh, okay.
You can't have same. 7 and 6 can't be same. There's either going to be a ball player and a runner, or the other way around. You can't have 2 ball players. Doesn't work.
What would you do if you're O'Brien?
Well, you can't move Hastings.
So you'd
You
have
really
a
can't.
Cogger.
And I hate to move. Yeah, I hate to move Gamble. But the good thing is about Tyson Gamble, you can put him on the bench. He can come in and play lock.
Yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
so he doesn't have to play 6. But you can't have ball play. You just can't. It doesn't work. It just doesn't. It doesn't work. Gagai, I haven't seen him play that good for 3 years. And I'm going to be. Oh no. Elliot played well. Now Kai Peace Paul. Okay, they're not using him properly. Okay, they're using him either as a dummy runner, or Ponga should have half a brain.
That will evolve.
I hope so, because you can see him get tackled. He's 6'6". He's 115 kilos, and he runs as quick as Ponga. Okay, I've seen it. You see him tackle, and he's falling down, and his arms are flaggering everywhere. Okay, he's looking for what's his name? The 5.
Bevan French.
He's looking for French to pop it to him like he used to do all the time. That's what happened. French would pass it to him, run around, and he's falling, and the ball's just popped out.
Imagine when Ponga gets hold of that.
Yeah,
knowledge
it's going to
and
happen.
starts doing it.
I see so many little little instances of him being what he was. Now, he would break the line more in England, but that's just England. He's not going to break the line as much here. And they use him a lot as a dummy runner, a lot as a dummy runner. Once they get that going, he's dangerous. I'm telling you now, I can't be wrong.
He's still got to learn the timing and all that. Yeah,
he's got to learn NRL.
The speed.
I can't be that wrong. I don't want to be that wrong because I love this kid. 21-20. How good was it? It was exciting.
That was good.
They move on. The problem is that Newcastle 2 losses now.
Yep.
They're in trouble. They've got to win. They've got to win next week.
Can I give you my take on this? So this is just how I look at it, and I believe it comes down to the little effort areas and stuff. If you look at the last 5 minutes of this game, Newcastle should have had it sewn up.
Yep.
They turned the ball over. They made dumb mistakes.
Yep.
Well, Cowboys actually dropped the ball or whatever, like with 2 minutes to go, and somehow got it back through errors, right? As a coach, and I'm not a coach, so as a fan, but if I was a coach, I do this as a fan. I look at the draw for my team when the draw is released, right? And you look at, 24 games, 25 games?
Yeah, 25.
Basically, when you look at the draw, if you split it into thirds, there's 8 games you know you're going to win. This is on paper, right? You look at certain teams and you go, okay, we have to win these. There's 8 games where you know you could probably lose. Yeah. And like the Penrith one, for example, for Parramatta the other night. Like you marked out at the start of the season, Penrith Park, probably going to lose that one, right? There's 8 games you pick you're going to win. There's 8 that you pick you're going to lose. And then there's 8 games that are going to come down to the wire and they could go either way. And they're the ones that hurt you at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And they're the ones where you got to win more than you lose. Where in this case, the Cowboys did it and Newcastle didn't. You know what I mean? Yeah. But they're really the games that define your season. That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it anyway. But and it just comes down to when they do the video and they look at that last 5 minutes, that's where they needed a controlling half to kick it in the right spot, to keep everyone calm. They were too erratic and they were turning the ball over, and they opened the door for the Cowboys to come in and score a try again where the defense was terrible. It was a great kick. But yeah, they lost the game there and then.
But you think someone like Hastings would have done that, eh?
Well, maybe he just needs to be shown it on video and say, hey, look, this is what,
It's still early days. It's still very early days.
But I mean, both of these games that we're talking about now, including the next one, those 2 games fit into what I was just talking about. That third of the season where the game could go either way. Yeah. And that's going to define your season. You've got to win more than you lose at those ones. Yeah. But look, it was a great effort by the Cowboys at home to get the win because they looked like they didn't stand a chance in the last couple of minutes.
They were shot.
Yeah. So great confidence booster for them as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And good watch. Beside it was clunky. It was a good watch.
Yeah. A lot of these games this weekend had a lot of errors and stuff, but they were still exciting because of the scorelines.
Yeah.
Sure. Going down to Melbourne, 30 points to 26 over the Warriors. Similar situation. The Warriors had this game in the bag.
Yeah.
Love this game.
I still don't know how they lost because, like I said, I walked away from the TV with a few minutes to go. We've all seen the try, and if you haven't, get on YouTube and look at it. But and don't forget, Melbourne are still missing Cameron Munster and Nelson Asofa Solomona.
Yeah.
2 huge inputs to come back.
Huge.
Yeah. Warriors could easily be 2-0, but they're 0-0. They should have beat Cronulla.
Yep.
They should have beat Cronulla. And to be honest, this game here, I thought first half Warriors were terrible. I didn't think much of them.
Yeah.
Second half, I don't know what Webster said to them, Webster who, but they came out on fire. That was so good. And then to get run down in the end, to get those tries right in the last minutes would have been heartbreak because it was a great work. One thing I loved, Tavasa Sheck, he played a really good game, and that was his second game back from rugby union. I love that player. He looked really good. But, yeah, disappointing for the Warriors. First half, full of errors. Second half is none. So it's game of 2 halves. You know when you say it's game of 2 halves? That was a typical game of 2 halves
for
the Warriors.
When Adi said second half, no errors, there was no errors. They did no errors in the second half. They played the perfect game. I enjoy watching the Warriors play.
Yeah.
I love their shift
Why
shapes.
couldn't they do that for the full game?
I don't know. Mentally, I don't know.
So when I talk about that block of 8 games that I was just talking about, at the end of the season, they're going to look at these first 2 games and say, we should have had 4 points from that. That's going to hurt.
Yeah.
That is definitely going to hurt.
We either should have been in the top 4, we either should have been in the top 8.
Mm-hmm.
It's that fine line in this competition. You know what? We're talking about the Warriors, but Melbourne won. And
yes, exactly.
Perhaps slowly coming back.
Yeah.
Gee, he's looking good, isn't he?
Yeah,
The inside ball, huh? The outside.
So good to see him looking
the Kronk
comfortable.
special, How good is it? You know what? He puts a smile on my face when I see it. Hughes is good. Hughes is getting better, back to his best. And he's good. Every time Remus Smith has a good game and Nick Meaney has a good game, it's like a dagger in my heart.
they both had a really
It's like
good
a
game.
dagger in my heart.
They're playing good.
They both had a really good game.
And look, this pack is workmanlike and does the job. But I love watching the Warriors play. I love the style of them. Fanua Blake, I would crown. You know how I love my front rowers, and Payne Huss is my man. But let me tell you, Fanua Blake, if not equal, very close.
Yeah.
He's got more leg speed, and he, you know what? Even when they were losing, he was the best player on the ground. He was just bringing them forward, just carrying them forward. Sean's going to be at his best again in the next couple of weeks. You said about Tuvaka Shek, how good is he?
Yeah.
And how did they lose this?
Yeah.
How did they
lose it? Yeah.
Barry, is he a New Zealand player or is he Australian?
Good question.
Well, if he's a New Zealand player, he should be in the New Zealand team. Not even and if he's an Australian player, is he New South Wales or
Birthplace Scathos, Greece.
Scathos? We should be in the Greek team. I wish.
He's a Kiwi, mate. Birthplace Masterton, New Zealand. So
okay, he will be in the New Zealand team. He's sensational.
Should be, yeah.
And his father was an All Black.
Yeah,
his father was an All Black.
That's right.
So I enjoyed this game.
Can I just digress?
I loved it.
Can I just digress for a moment? You mentioned Payne Haas.
Yeah.
I just want to make the Newcastle fans feel even worse than they did a minute ago. Did you guys catch face to face by any chance?
No, I'm dying to see
Payne
it.
Haas. So Yvonne Sampson asked him, "Were you always a Broncos fan growing up?" And he said, "Oh no." He goes, "No, I never wanted to." He goes, "I wanted to play for Newcastle."
Oh, no.
Because I don't know who it is, but his uncle played for Newcastle. I'm not sure who it is.
Oh,
I'll have to look that up.
Oh, no.
But the Newcastle fans will love that.
The player can change a franchise.
He's not a Queenslander, right?
He's not a Queenslander.
He said, no, hell no. He goes, the Broncos, when I was growing up, the Broncos were the team that everyone hated because they were so good.
So good.
He goes, but I always wanted to play for Newcastle.
Wow.
Oh, no.
So, maybe it's not too late for the Novocastrians to make a play for him, but that would have to hurt, wouldn't it?
Maybe.
Anyway, what about the finish? What about Xavier Coates'
The finish.
We
Fantastic.
touched on it
the finish.
earlier, but
That's
I mean,
fantastic. And apparently they trained for it. So
They do.
to do it in that
well,
moment.
that's not an accident.
It's just brilliant.
The way
That's-
they executed that, the way he executed, that's not an accident.
Yeah. They showed footage of that in America, and some people were
Did they?
freaking out. Yeah, they were freaking out. They're saying, one of the greatest things I've ever seen. But you know what I hated about that? A lot of the feedback was, I love rugby. Rugby's great.
You
I
gotta
can't
go
believe
with
I didn't. I can't.
It comes back to
And
the
I'm thinking,
verbiage.
come on,
it comes
man.
back to the verbiage that we keep. We've got to just start calling it league,
Yeah.
not rugby league even. Because even I remember when they were promoting it weeks and weeks before,
They're calling it rugby.
they were calling it rugby,
Yeah.
and they weren't being correct. The Americans were calling it rugby, and the Australians weren't correcting it.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sucks because you don't see that in rugby union.
Yeah. I know.
No. But rugby union's known.
But what was funny was a lot of people were getting their backs up and they were comparing NFL to rugby league. And no, NFL's got some good moments like that as well. And then they started being a bit of bickering back and forth. I'm thinking, oh wow, some rugby league fans
That's
in
good.
America are giving it to NFL.
That's
So
good.
yeah, it's made a little bit of a headway there from Vegas. So that's good to see.
Before we move on, I told you Ford can't have 2 bad games in a row.
No, yeah.
How good was
Good
it?
to see him come back.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good to see him.
Yeah.
It was a good game. I enjoyed it. Had me
Now-
on the edge of my seat.
Manly Sunday afternoon, 21 points to 14 over the Roosters.
He's egg on my face.
Well, interestingly, Trent Robertson said in the press conference, Manly controlled the game for 80 minutes.
Manly controlled the game for 8 minutes.
One thing that I noticed from watching that game yesterday, I know that you said you watched The Manly Way. I don't know if you did on
No, I haven't
YouTube or
watched
not.
it. No.
Watch the
But
Manly Way.
the one episode for me that really stood out was that boot camp episode, where it was just 24-hour boot camp. It was grueling.
Yeah.
And what I saw yesterday was the fitness of Manly.
Yeah.
They just fatigued the Roosters, and I don't think I've ever seen Luke Brooks look this good.
Yeah.
He was sharp. He was quick. He was
Credit.
honestly, and Nathan Brown playing so well, right?
He's good.
They could be the fittest team in the comp.
They could be the best team in the comp.
But look, they did, because it wasn't an easy victory. It was very difficult, and the Roosters shot themselves in the foot a couple of times.
They were disappointing.
It was 3 tries each. Both teams scored 3 tries. I thought bunker watch there. I thought one of the tries that Manly scored shouldn't have been a try. Tedesco was taken out. Trebojevic went through, and there's a new rule where if you're going to go through and not contest the ball, it's a penalty.
Yeah.
And I've been watching the first 2 rounds. We've been seeing penalties getting blown for all of them. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why that one didn't get done. And even the commentators were freaking out. They say, "Nah,
2 refs.
how come that
Is
did
that the
not get
downtown
called?"
rule?
No, but the video referee should have called it.
Yeah.
They saw Tedesco got taken out, man.
Yeah.
And that made a huge difference, honestly. It made a difference. But in
By the
the
law.
end,
By the law.
I'll say this, Manly were the better team.
They were.
59% possession, over 500 metres more running. So they controlled the game, they did, but Chooks were unlucky with that try, unfortunately.
How
I don't
good-
think they ever looked in. I don't think the Chooks ever really looked into the game. I mean, 2 intercepts.
Yeah.
I don't think they looked. They were in the
Yeah.
game.
How good is Turbo looking?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Outstanding. Outstanding. You forget
He's
how
very
good
good.
he is. You forget how. Yeah, and you know what? You forget that he's ball dominant.
Yeah.
Like.
Coming around the back.
Yeah. So Latrell waits for his opportunity. Ponga is a little bit more ball dominant, but in good ball. But Tommy, anywhere, even in dirty
He
ball.
sniffs around, mate. He doesn't stop.
Even in dirty ball. So
But I noticed
he's
that
very ball
Brooks
dominant.
is doing the same thing. He's roaming.
He's cool.
He's popping up on the left. He's popping up on the right.
He's
Been given some rain,
he's been a 6, yeah.
and it just looks happy.
Well, Eddie told me he's a ball runner. And look, because of the circumstances, I haven't really seen a season of him being him. He's a ball runner. I think he's a ball runner.
Yeah.
You're right. He's a ball runner.
He's a great player. Yeah.
Ball runner. Yeah. It was entertaining.
There's not
was
much
a
to
good game.
talk about. Manly definitely deserved the win.
There is Okala. What's his
Ola
name?
Kawatu.
Yeah. How good is he?
He's
You're
great.
Right. You're right.
I thought that try should have been awarded. Like for
Oh,
me,
the one that was near the line.
these little bobbles.
Oh, yeah, the bobble.
You know, like I mean, unless you actually knock it on or lose possession, I
Oh,
mean,
that was crap.
yeah, I thought that should
Hate
have been.
that. I hate that.
And
that
that's
was
one of those 3 minutes later.
Mm.
The ref calls it up, and the whole crowd just gets deflated.
Is Ben Travojevic the best Travojevic of all of them? He's good. He's good. He's very good.
17,000 people.
17,000 a
Brookie.
Brookie.
Yeah.
It was full of house.
Yeah, Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
It wasn't great weather either.
And you know the only problem is it's going to be condemned. The player wage and there'll be no more Brookie.
Well, where are they going to play out of? They don't cross the bridge.
They've got to fix Brookie. They're going to fix Brookie.
They have to. The fans don't cross the bridge.
No, they won't. They won't go
They,
anywhere.
they wouldn't go to the SFS even for semi-finals a few years back.
No.
So, yeah.
No.
Were the Mortimers and Hughes the last time you saw 3 brothers playing in the one team? Was that the last time?
Good question.
Because now we've got Trebojevic.
What about the May brothers at Penrith? Was there 2 of them or 3 of them?
There's 3 of them, but they never played
Never
together.
played together.
Terrell's
Two.
too young. Yeah, Terrell
There
was.
was 2. I'm trying to think what other 3
It's not-
brothers.
It's just them, Trebojevic, Mortimer.
3 brothers,
Hughes.
yeah.
Look at that, eh?
Yeah.
Well, all of them, you know what? There's good, just as good, completely different players. All
Yeah,
three,
yeah.
Yeah.
but just as good,
Just as good, yeah.
as each other. Yeah, it was good. It was a good game. I enjoyed it. I liked it. Bring it on. I want to see Manly again.
You will against Parramatta on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, we're going to see
Yeah.
him live. I can't wait.
Artie,
can't wait.
you're not going to enjoy the next one.
God.
Dolphins 38 points to 0 over the Dragons. What the hell happened?
What's it doing, Artie? What's it doing?
This is, I praised the Dragons so much last week, and I saw none of that last night.
I think they forgot to tell the Dragons there's more than one round. They thought it was only one. Yeah, my wife told me this story once where a kid went to kindergarten, and on the first day, the kindergarten teacher said, "Well done, everybody. That was great. See you tomorrow." And the kid went, "What? We're back again tomorrow?" I felt like that's what the Dragons thought. We won last week. What? We're playing again? It was just that type of. It was awful. It was just a complete contrast of what we saw the week before. Flano will be fuming. He made a couple of weird changes. He brought in Laurie and Luciano. I don't think they will fit, but it changed a few things. I think should have just kept it what he had.
The Hammer had a
blinder. Dolphins were just out of this world. They played really well,
especially when Sloan almost scored right at the end.
Yeah,
and the Hammer,
exactly.
But that just typified the Dragons' night and the Hammer's night.
Exactly, and that's the highest score they've ever won by, and the first time they've held a team scoreless ever. So there you go. Great
couple of records.
History.
You'll want to see obliterated there.
I've got some more history for you later on, Artie. Yeah. You know what amazes me is what they did the first week, and which we said is repeatable, which is very simple: effort and aggression.
Yep.
Effort and aggression. They forgot about it.
Exactly.
They didn't do it.
They thought they needed to do it for one round.
It's amazing, and I thought that they could reproduce it, and I thought, well, they're going to have a decent season because it's not about putting people through gaps. It's about effort. All regular league players should have effort, consistency, and aggression.
Yeah.
And out the window. So I'm perplexed. I don't understand what happened, and I'm hoping next week will be a different St George. But I did enjoy watching the Dolphins, play well. And the Hammer, on his day, we know the Hammer is one of the best players in the comp.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed the game. Even the floggings were good. It was fun. It was fun. And who's this Jack Bostock?
St George Jr. He was a gun. He was so good.
No.
Bennett snuck under there and got us.
I've never heard of him before.
But good on Bennett,
Was he in the team last year? No.
Yeah, he did. He played a handful of games there, but yeah, he was there last year as well.
Well, I'm hearing Bostock down the sidelines going, who's this Bostock? Where'd they find him from?
Very good player. But good on Bennett because last week they got hammered 43-18, and for him to make them bounce back and win 38-0, super coach Bennett.
Super coach.
Well done.
Super coach.
Definitely.
Super coach.
And the Gold Coast Titans had the bye.
Can you imagine what Des is doing to him? Poor guys. Des is killing him.
But look, that's it for Controversy Corner. So thanks, guys, for that. And we'll see you all on part 2 of episode 64 with our Ask Artie segment.
Ask Artie.
We'll see you guys then.
See you later, guys.
See you guys.
That was almost 2 hours.
I know.
Wow.
This will wrap up quickly.
Yeah.
You boys ready?
Yep.
All right, welcome back. Part 2 of episode 64, Quick Hands Rugby League podcast. This is the pod that tells it like it is, and this is our Ask Artie segment. So,
Hey.
Artie,
How you going, everyone?
take it away.
Hey. Okay, let's start. Let's get off on a bang. Let's give Manoli's round 2, 3, 2, 1. So what do you reckon? We'll start with that?
Let's do it. Let's go.
Let's
see
do
what
it.
Manoli's got for us.
Alrighty, so for game 1, we had the Broncos versus the Rabbitohs, and Manoli was very impressed with Reece Walsh, gave him the 3 points.
So it should be.
Second was Selwyn Cobbo, his second game in the centres, looked very comfortable there, and got the chocolates there, so gave him the 2 points. And Manoli loves the chip and chase, and this young Dean Mariner doing it in the small space on the sideline there absolutely blew him away. He's lucky. Oh, he wanted to give him 3, but I said, you can't do it just for one thing. So he gave him the 1 point. So 3-2-1 there. Sharks and the Bulldogs was the next game.
What's he got for us?
Teague Wilton, he thought he was outstanding. He gave him the 3 points. He gave Nico Hines the 2 points there, 116 metres, 1 line break, 4
Nico was good.
tackle breaks. And then he had to give one to Kikau. It was a pretty good game for them.
Had to give
from a losing team.
Something to the Dogs.
It was his best performance in the blue and white. So I gave it to that. So happy with those.
I love him. So
Manoli,
far,
he's judging
he
all
knows
right.
his game. He knows the game.
Yeah,
He knows the game.
The Panthers and the Eels. He went for Targo, the centre. He was carving him up on the side there. Liato, Fisher Harris got injured, and he said, look, he had to do it on his own. He had no fish. So this is fair enough. And he scored that try as well. So he was very impressed with Liato. So I gave it to him. And in the last one, he was tossing up. I'll let you guys decide. Taruva or Edwards? Who would you have given it to?
Either one. They're both
Edwards.
Edwards?
By the way, we didn't mention Edwards in our last segment when we
didn't,
were
did
talking
we?
about fullbacks, and that's so unfair.
Yeah, I know. He
Because
doesn't
he's got
get
to be
mentioned.
right up there.
He doesn't. He
Hey.
doesn't get much of a mention.
I know. I just thought about that now.
You know what?
Pushes Latrell back even further.
He'll never play Origin, and he played a one game, a test game, I think on the wing. But he can play. He's good enough
So
to play
good.
Origin. He's good
He
enough
is.
to play for Australia. He's good enough to play for anything. But we're just.
Can I tell you a quick?
He's not a highlight
quick
reel.
funny
That's
story.
why.
Sorry, Adi, just a quick funny story because Dylan Edwards is one of those fullbacks that he's won 3 premierships in a row. Parramatta had one called Paul Taylor
Yes.
Oh, yes.
back in the day when they had all these superstars.
Yes.
And in the 1986, I think it was the 86 grand final, Sterlo won the whatever it was called, the Rothmans.
Rothmans.
Back there, right? To this day, Peter Sterling says, I'm 100% convinced they mixed me up with Paul Taylor. Because he said he was the best
the
player
same.
on the field
Yeah.
He was.
and
good.
they had the same hairstyles. They had the same haircuts.
Yeah, they did.
And Sterlo's convinced, he goes, I'm convinced to this day that they got us
Mistaken identity.
mistaken. But anyway, sorry, Artie, go on.
That's all right, man. So, yeah, that's the 3 for those guys. So we'll give it to Edwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go Edwards.
Okay. Yeah, 226 metres and Taruva got 2 tries. That's why he had them both up there. So, all right. So Raiders and the Tigers, he gave it to the youngster, Ethan Strange, for the 3 points. 2 points to Zach Hosking. Super buy there. Buy of the season he could be, potentially.
Close.
Potentially. And he gave Lachlan Galvin, first game,
Had to give you
17-year-old.
Had to give you something.
Did well.
He did.
He did well. Set up a try. It's fantastic.
Future superstar.
Exactly. Game after that, which was the close one, we had the Cowboys and the Knights. He was tossing up between Dearden and Adam Elliott. So he went Dearden first because they won, only because they won, and then he gave Adam Elliott the 2 points.
I agree.
And in the end, he gave Chad the 1.
The Chad.
The Chad. He's still pumping him at that
Good
age.
for his age, 34.
He's doing very well. Storm and the Warriors, we had Pappenhausen get the number 3 points there with RTS getting 2 points. He thought he did very well. He was
Very well.
outstanding. And Jerome Hughes getting the 1 point in
Yeah.
that game. Now getting to the Seagulls and the Roosters. Ola Kawatu got the 3, then followed by Brooks, and then he loved Kula, the centre. The
Everybody
guy
loves
is
Kula.
dynamite.
Dynamite.
Kohler, he's fantastic. So he gave him the 1 point. And in the final game, it was the Hammer with 3. We didn't talk about Marshall King's.
How good was he?
No, but he's, what was it? The melon.
The Falcon.
The Falcon.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Every time I see Marshall King, dagger in my heart.
But
Dagger in my
he
heart.
copped it and then he kept playing and he scored a mad try in the end. Like he didn't stop him.
Interestingly, the Dolphins had 2 HIAs in the
Yeah.
first half. With the St. George hooker,
Yeah,
I don't know how he stayed on the field.
exactly.
He got up wobbling
Yeah.
and he wasn't sent for a HIA, but the Dolphins had 2.
Yeah. Well, how did Max King? How did Marshall King stay on? Did you see when the ball hit him? He was lost.
Yeah, but he was taken off for
Yeah,
a
but-
HIA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. But yeah, he had a blinder. So maybe he needs to get HIAs in every game. And Max Plath, the young kid, he got
Youngster, Plath,
he got the 1 point. And at the moment on the leaderboard, we've got Zach Hosking and Olakawatu sharing the lead.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Kawhi.
Manoli's got them too.
Hard to argue.
Exactly. So very well done for that. Now I've got something for you, Nico.
Yes.
Who would you rather?
Interesting.
Now
Hit me up.
it's a bit sad because I've got to remind you of a couple of bad periods of your life. It's the 2001 Parramatta losing team versus the 2022 Parramatta losing team.
Great. Thanks, Artie.
But, what we're going to do is we're going to get the best out of these two teams.
Okay.
All right. And then we're going to put them up against another Parramatta team, which I'm sure you'll know. So in 2001, you had Brett Hodgson up against Clint Gutherson. Who would you pick out of them two at their peak?
Probably Gutherson.
Gutho?
Yeah.
Okay. That's an interesting one. What about you, George? Who would you have gone?
What was the other guy?
Brett Hodgson.
Hodgson.
I love Hodjo.
Yeah, that's a hardie.
Hodjo was very good.
Yeah, I'll go Gutho because he's more fresh in my mind. But
Remember Hodjo getting ragdolled?
Yes.
yeah. He's famous for
He's
that.
famous for that, the poor guy.
bastard.
But he
Can't
was
live that
a
down.
very good player. The next one's an interesting one.
Bed sheet.
Two guys with the same similar build, Miko Silva versus Luke Burt.
Who?
What?
Miko Sivo.
Oh, Micah
Sivo.
Sivo.
Micah Sivo.
Oh, yeah.
And
Sivo.
Luke Burt.
Was it?
Sivo.
I think
Who
Luke
would you
Burt
go?
has the points record for Parramatta.
Exactly.
kicker.
So,
He's a goal kicker, so he's more valuable.
so you'd pick him ahead of
Oh, and Sivo's
Maker?
got a great try scoring record.
Exactly,
So it's a tough
so-
one. Look, I'd probably go Sivo.
Sivo.
Yeah.
Okay. At the end of this, I'm going to tell you which team. Okay. Jamie Lyon versus Will Penasini.
Oh, definitely
you're
Jamie
killing
Lyon.
me. I don't know. Penno's good.
No, are you kidding? You remember, you forget how good Jamie Lyon was?
Jamie Lyon was a gun.
Before he walked out of the club because he argued with Brian Smith.
Funny you say that because I've got some stuff on that later.
good.
Jamie Lyon was amazing back then.
He just convinced me. I'll go Lion.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
go
going Lyon.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah,
No,
I remember.
definitely Jamie Lyon. He was in the centres back then. He wasn't
Yeah.
a 5'8".
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Bailey Simonson versus David Vailicki.
I liked Vailicki. I really liked Vailicki. You know, I'd pick him any day of the week. He was a good stepper. He was elusive.
Yeah.
The one hand ball carries used to scare me, but I was a fan. I liked him.
Yeah. Vailicki for you?
Yeah.
I can't remember Vailicki.
He was good.
I'm going
He
to
was
go.
good, yeah.
That's good.
I'm going to go Bailey Simons.
All right. Jason Moody or Wonga Blake?
I don't know. I can't remember Moody.
Jason Moody was good. He was a
He
Newcastle
was
boy.
a Newcastle, yeah. Moody
He
was a better player.
solid player.
Yeah, Blake's got a lot of mistakes in him
Yeah.
defensively.
You
yeah.
got to go Moody.
Yeah.
Should see how good he's going in Super League.
Yeah.
This one here, I think, are going to be pretty easy. You got Michael Butner versus Dylan Brown.
I don't know how the pairing of Michael Butner and Jason Taylor made a grand final.
There you go.
I still don't know how that
They did
happened.
it.
There you go.
They did it.
I still don't know how that happened.
And broke
Definitely-
records. That halves
yeah,
combination
I
broke a
know.
lot of records.
Definitely Dylan Brown, yeah.
Definitely Dylan Brown. Well, you
Brown.
know the next one. It's Mitchell Moses and Jason Taylor. You would have gone
Same
Dylan
thing.
Brown. Yeah.
Brownie.
Brownie and Moses.
I'll go Moses, yeah.
Jesus, yeah.
This is an interesting one, guys. Nathan Kalis or RCG?
Oh,
Campbell
you're
Giller.
killing me, Adi. You're killing me. You're killing me. Oh, no.
Kalis was pretty good.
You know what? He was, but he wasn't.
Dynamic.
I'd go RCG.
You'd go RCG?
Yeah.
He's killing it.
RCG. Okay.
RCG's killing it.
There you go. Reed Marnie or Brad Drew? I mentioned him before.
Yeah.
So,
Look, Brad Drew had a phenomenal season that year. His whole career wasn't like that. But I suppose you could say that about most of that team. Overall, I think I'd go Reed Marnie. I think he's a more complete
Reed
player.
Marnie?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. You, George?
I haven't seen it for 2 years, but Reed.
Michael Vella or Junior Paulo?
Oh, that's a tough one. I have to
Vella
go
was
Junior, but I really liked Michael Vella. He
Vella was
He
good.
played for New South Wales too.
Well, it was good.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I'm going to go Junior. but
Junior's got better hands.
yeah, because he's a big 5'8" playing in front row.
Yeah.
But Vella was good, I remember.
Yeah, he was.
He was very good.
Nathan Hindmarsh or Sean Lane?
Nathan Hindmarsh every day of the week.
Nathan Hindmarsh.
Funny
Georgie?
thing,
Nathan.
Hindmarsh said, and you guys might remember every time Parramatta conceded a long range try, Hindmarsh was always chasing,
was a
even though he had
Yes.
no chance of catching.
He was the only one on the pitch.
And in his book, he mentioned that he was asked about why are you always chasing? And he goes, well, look, it's very rare, but from time to time, someone will trip over or do a hammy or just lose the ball. We've seen it happen.
Yeah.
He goes, and in case it happens, someone needs to be chasing them down. So
Yeah,
it's a
love
low
it.
percentage play,
Love
but it's
it.
all effort, right?
Love it. Love
Just
it.
to show the type of guy he is,
Yeah.
just
Love
an
it.
effort player. Good on
Love
him.
it. Love it.
Well, his brother's next. We've got Ian Hindmarsh versus Isaiah Papali'i.
Papali'i.
Papali'i?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ian Hindmarsh was good, but he was not as effective as Papali'i was.
That's interesting.
Another player who's gone to nothing since he left.
Yeah, he wasn't good on Saturday.
Mm.
He was not.
He wasn't good at the Warriors before he came to Parramatta either.
Yeah, he was not good. Don't know what happened to Parramatta. Look, I'm going to go with Nico because he knows his team, but I thought Hindmarsh was good.
Yeah, he was good.
But Papali'i was just more. He's
Dynamic.
more impact, more dynamic. Yeah.
He was a bit more dynamic, yeah.
Yeah, okay, but go Papali'i.
Lock in the scrum, we had Daniel Wagon up against Ryan Madison.
Oh
Yeah, look, I'm going to get Madison
You
because
gotta
the
go
thing
Madison.
the thing I didn't like about Brian Smith's recruitment strategy back then, he gave away a carriage and he brought in a wagon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't make sense to me. Daniel Wagon somehow,
Yeah.
and only under Wayne Bennett could this happen,
Yeah.
played 5'8" for Queensland.
Yeah.
Did he?
He played for St George.
He was
before
a
came-
Brian Smith favourite. I think he
Yeah.
brought him over. He loved Daniel Wagon.
He got picked for Queensland at 5'8", and it worked under Wayne Bennett. 5'8" or lock. I think it was
I
5'8".
didn't think he was a good player. Or an outstanding player anyway.
Yeah, I'd go Madison. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought you would. Okay, now we're going to go to the bench. You've got 4 on the bench. PJ Marsh up against Nathan Brown.
Nathan Brown. Oh, sorry, PJ Marsh every day of the week.
PJ
He was
Marsh?
awesome.
Yeah. Alrighty.
I was thinking of Nathan Brown to coach.
No,
This is-
Nathan
yeah,
Brown, the guy
yeah,
that's
yeah.
at Manly now. Andrew Ryan, Jacob Arthur. Okay.
Did you have
Andrew Ryan, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have Andrew Ryan?
What are you talking about? Where do you think you guys signed him from?
Oh yeah.
He played for New South Wales and Australia before he went to Canterbury, you know.
Did he?
Yeah.
I love him. Yeah, Ryan.
Ryan, mate,
He was
The
unbelievable.
Bobcat.
The Bob.
He got his
Yeah.
nickname at Parramatta.
Oh.
Yeah.
This bench that Parramatta had is unbelievable. Alex Chan versus Oregon Kafusi.
Chang.
Chan was good. I'd
Yeah.
go Kafusi.
You would go
Really?
Kafusi?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought Chang was good.
Yeah? You'd go Chan?
I thought Chang was good.
And the last one's David Solomona. He was a good player. I
He
liked
was
him.
good. He came from the Roosters.
And Marata Niakura.
Solomona.
Solomona,
He made things happen. That
He
guy.
did,
He used to
he
wear the
did.
headgear. That Tuolagi that we got now, he looks similar, especially
he
when he's
does.
wearing the headgear. We call him Solomona.
Yeah, he's good.
He was good, that player.
Solomon,
Yeah.
Yeah.
good player.
All right, so we've got Solomona. Okay, so 7
Ask me
players.
which coach I'd prefer.
Brian Smith or Brad Arthur?
I can't answer.
Yeah, I know you've gone either way. You've gone
I
either
can't
You gotta
way.
go
answer
Brian
it,
Smith.
You've gone
You
either
got to
way.
go Brian Smith. So 7 out of the 2001 Parramatta team would have made the 2022 team. You're telling me? Alrighty, let's look at some spam mail.
Isn't that interesting?
Which is exactly
It is.
what, half?
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
When you include the bench, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
interesting.
Bit of spam mail. We've got what's his name? Chad from Vegas. He just said they didn't realise that he had something common with Latrell.
Latrell.
Yeah, they both like the same music. They both like funk. They like the same funk. Josephine's got a rumour. Her rumour of the week. What is it? eBay flooded with Dragons fans selling the grand final tickets. That's happening at the moment. And you've got to stop giving out our email address, mate. To some
Why?
people.
What happened?
Cornelius.
Oh no! What is he doing now? What's Cornelius done now?
He's given us his. I don't know why we wouldn't have asked. Sexiest men of league.
Sexiest men of league.
Yeah, this is Cornelius, sexiest
Cornelius.
men of league. Yeah,
Could you tell
Is this
the?
a current playing group?
your current playing.
Could you
group?
could you tell the listeners who Cornelius is?
Cornelius, he's the florist.
He's
He
our
gives all their
florist. He's
flowers.
the- he's the-
We've got the Cornelius Flower Awards,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
because of that as awards, he thought he'd
Oh, what has he got for
throw
us?
an email in there as well and give
What's he
us
got
his
for
sexy men of league. Well, he's got a few names there, which are interesting. He's got about 15 names.
15
he
names?
He watches a lot of rugby league. Reece Walsh,
Whoa.
which is a favourite. He's got the fish.
The fish.
He loves the fish. He reckons DeBellin.
the belt.
Yeah, he loves a
the
DeBellin.
I'm not gonna.
He loves a bit of the. He loves a Josh Curran.
Josh Curran. He's got a head like a bird and
I
favourite.
think he's just going through all the teams and picking their favourites. Ryan Madison.
Oh, Matto's a good-looking bloke. He's a big boy. Yeah. Loves his big men.
He loves the youngsters too. He's got Taylor May.
Taylor May.
Taylor May.
The youngsters love him.
Taylor May. Jay Arrow. He loves
Jay Arrow?
Yeah. Britain.
Jai Arrow.
Yeah.
That's a good-looking bloke.
Well, according to Cornelius, mate, he thinks.
It's Cornelius list.
I've got nothing. I'm just listening. I got nothing.
Cornelius
Mate.
list.
Britton Nakora.
A good-looking bloke.
Yeah.
Good-looking bloke. I can't argue.
This one, he couldn't remember his name, so he just said weak-gutted dog. He said that and,
Poor guy's going to go through his
he's gonna
whole
go through
life.
his
Sticky lip special.
WGD, weak-gutted dog.
Oh,
Victor Radley, RCG, Ruben Cotter.
What's that all about?
I don't know.
What's that? Ruben Cotter.
RCG with the Freddie Mercury moustache and
That's
all.
it. He
yeah.
must love the.
Must love it.
Yeah, maybe he's gonna. He might ask these guys to be on a float next year on the Mardi Gras.
What was that pink jersey he asked you for?
Oh, he
last?
did. He asked for the pink. Yeah,
Yeah,
last week.
yeah.
He's got Nico Hines
Nico,
and
yeah.
finished it with Cole Lawton. But he's also got the Catalan Dragons. He loves his French players. So he's
Which
put
one?
the whole Catalan
The whole
Dragons.
team. The whole team.
Yeah, that's it,
With the
man.
French
He's gone-
wine there,
he's
right?
gone crazy. He's gone
Gee,
crazy.
Cornelius.
Give you an update, guys, on our tipping.
How we go? How we
yeah,
go?
well, okay. So you, Georgie, got four
I've got
out of
four.
8. Nick, you got 5. And me, I'm taking the lead, boys. I'm on 6. So all up, I'm on 10 points.
Yeah.
Nico's on 9, and you're on 8. I had 6 from 6 up until Sunday.
Did you?
So, yeah, Sunday,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
did
So
too.
I'm propping
Yeah,
the whole.
Sunday,
killed
yeah.
me. No,
I'm
there's-
propping it up.
George, you got to stop tipping the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's gone. That's over now. I'm
Yeah.
propping the whole thing up by the sounds of it.
Where'd we go different? You had the Warriors, Nico. I
Did
had
I?
you down as the Warriors.
Oh, okay.
That's where you got.
I-
Me and you, I thought were the same, but the
I
rest
had
were
Melbourne
Warriors.
in my other tipping comp.
Oh, did you?
That's why I thought it was
there
there.
you go. Now, I mentioned it before, the Cornelius Awards. We're just going to go through the round, basically just some awards here. Just give me your tips, boys. So which was the best team of the round?
I've got to go out on a limb here and say the Dolphins. Not because they were the best team, but
Yeah.
they impressed me the most.
I agree with you. Turning around 43-18 to 38-0. I gave to the Dolphins. What about you, George?
Warriors.
The Warriors,
I think so.
a losing team.
Yeah. Not great.
There you go.
Watch this space.
The Warriors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Watch this space.
Okay.
What
Interesting.
I saw for 30 minutes. Watch this space.
All right. What about the worst team?
The Dragons. Sorry, Artie. But to not score a point against
Yeah.
the Dolphins, yeah.
We would have lost to the bye, I reckon. That's
Sorry,
how bad they
yeah.
were. They were terrible.
Struggled against the boy. Yeah,
They'll bounce back from that this week.
I want to say South, but it's the Dragons.
Dragons?
Yeah, I want to say South.
Which team improved from last week?
Dogs.
Dolphins.
Yeah,
Dogs.
Well,
absolutely.
you could argue the Dogs as well. Yeah, sorry.
Dogs,
I'm thinking about the Dolphins.
Yeah.
'cause,
It was pretty clear cut. Dolphins to turn around that.
The
big
Dogs. They
scoreline.
played a in theory a
Yeah.
higher opponent.
Yeah,
better
yeah,
opponent.
no,
In
they
theory,
definitely
in
improved.
theory.
No, well,
Yeah.
not in theory. They did play a much tougher opponent.
Yeah.
The top 4 teams. So
Top 14.
Which team let you down? Which team was the biggest letdown?
you're not going to be happy.
Dragons?
Well, it's between South and the Dragons. But
Yeah.
I'm more let down from the Dragons because I was just so happy with what I saw. I'm a Flano fan.
Yeah.
And I was so happy with what I saw last week. And it was just such a huge leap from one week to the next.
Yeah, it was.
But I'm confident they'll bounce back. But yes, they did let me down.
The Bunnies.
It's funny you said that because I had the Bunnies too.
The Bunnies.
And you were
Well,
saying
I had-
South to the
yeah.
Bunnies. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I thought Saints were the worst team.
If the
I
Dra-
think
if the-
Souths were the most disappointing one.
Disappointing.
If the
We
Dragons
expected
lost
more.
38-12, so I would have said South.
Yeah, true.
But to not score a point against the Dolphins, yeah, it's a letdown for me.
Yeah. Who was the best player of the round?
That's a tough one.
In theory, the Hammer. In theory, the Hammer.
You could say the Hammer.
mine was Reece Walsh. I thought he was
Chris Walsh was
outstanding.
good. I think Tommy Turbo was really
Tommy
good.
was good.
You know what? I'm gonna be what's the word? Controversial here. I'm gonna call Xavier Coates just because that one moment.
Xavier Coates?
Yeah.
There you go.
Fanor Blake. Gee. Oh, he's amazing.
What about your surprises? Which player surprised you the most? I didn't see that coming.
Luke Brooks.
Luke Brooks.
Yeah, he's really surprised me with how well he's doing.
Yeah. He'd be up there.
He has surprised me. I didn't think he could put 2 games back to
Yeah.
back because he did play good the first round as well. Look, no one comes to mind, Artie, so I'll go Luke. But I'm sure there's a player which I'm not thinking about.
The guy that surprised me was the Canberra half, Ethan Strange.
Yes.
I saw this
Beautiful.
kid and I thought,
Thank you.
"Well,
Yes.
who is this kid? And he was amazingly, really, really good. He's got a big future. And that takes you to the next one, best rookie of the round,
Was Strange a rookie?
Ethan Strange. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be my
He
pick.
played
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah, exactly.
He played last year.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he had 4 or 5 games last year off the bench.
Ah, he's still a youngster though.
Yeah.
We classify rookies as
Anything under 10 games is a rookie, right?
I'm going to go the other kid. I'm going to go for
Galvin.
Tigers,
Yeah,
you know.
that's a true one. Yeah.
There's something about him. I don't know. There's something about him I saw. There's something about him.
And the last two, mate, we've got best attacking team. Which team had the best attack? Yeah. Saw some nice tries.
The Warriors.
The Warriors.
They are my favourite team to watch.
Okay.
Just look at some of the shift shapes when they go right with the 2 lead runners and the lesbian gets the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, it's beautiful. It's not about the 2 lead runners. It's about the halfback. What's his name?
Sean.
Sean. How he holds it up to
Yeah.
that last second. It's mouth-watering.
I'll go the Broncos.
Mouth-watering. Yeah,
Do we go the Broncos?
they're hot.
Yeah.
They're just hot. They're just a hot team.
I know it was against West, but I like Canberra's tries. I thought they were pretty dynamic. I thought they were very.
I wasn't thinking about tries. I was just thinking general.
There's a lot
general.
of good quality in attack this weekend. Wasn't
Yeah, there was.
It was, good, it was
There's
a
good
good
quality.
round. Don't worry about the score. It was just a good rugby league played.
Yeah, and best defensive unit,
Best defensive unit.
best defense.
Again, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Well, there was a team that held the team to 0.
Yeah.
They were pretty dynamic. I thought they were good, but
Okay, it has to
St
be
George
the
were
Dolphins.
pretty bad.
Has to be the Dolphins. You know what? Again, it's the only game where no points were scored from one team.
Yeah,
Dolphins. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I thought. The Dolphins.
There was a team that just kept on holding him out. Was it Newcastle? It just kept on rejecting him.
For a long period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened in a couple of games actually,
Yeah.
but no one kept the other team to zip.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought Canterbury's defense in the first half was okay too. I thought they did well.
That's what impresses me more than anything else. Even with ball in hand,
Yeah.
that they've got their front on defense right and the structure.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, let's see. If they keep on improving or giving that effort, I'm not going to whinge.
They will. They will.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
whinge.
And that's all I've got for you guys for today.
That's
That's
it.
the Cornelius Flower Awards. He'll be sending some awards there to some of those blokes.
Look out for
Nice
those
flowers.
flower deliveries.
And please, Cornelius, no more emails,
Men of
mate.
League.
Yeah, no more Men of League, mate.
So that wraps up part 3 of episode 64, the Ask Artie segment, and we'll see everyone on part 4, which is our next segment, which is Crystal Ball, where we'll go through all of our tips for the upcoming round.
That's it.
See you boys.
See you,
then.
boys. See you,
Bye,
man.
mate.
Okay. Now we've got the games.
Yeah, we'll try and go through these a bit quicker. You boys ready?
Yep.
I didn't even write them. I've got to write them.
Just go.
I didn't print out the draw, so I can.
Do you want to share my laptop?
No, it's all right. I'll just write them down. It's fine.
Okay, you boys ready?
Yep.
George, did you note down the time?
Yep.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1. And welcome back, Quick Hands Rugby League Podcast. This is the pod that tells it like it is, and we are up to part 3 of episode 64, the Crystal Ball segment, where we preview the upcoming round's tips. Gentlemen,
Hey, how
Always good to
is
have you guys
everyone?
back.
Back.
We're back.
let's go through the round, kicking off on Thursday night with the Panthers hosting the Broncos. What a doozy.
Grand final rematch.
Panthers are the favourites?
Yeah. Reynolds is out, isn't he?
Cannot.
I think
wait.
Yeah, I heard
might be, yeah.
he might be out.
Team list will come out tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. If he is out, that makes a big difference, doesn't it? Can you think of anyone else that's out? I don't think anyone got suspended or anything.
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that I'm aware of, yeah. So Panthers will be fully fit. I'm going to go Panthers because of that.
I think I'll go the Panthers as well.
Yeah.
At home too.
Yeah, that's another thing.
The Broncos are not playing well enough at the moment. I'm sure they will by the end.
Oh,
of the year.
they'll live for this one. Oh, that's what I heard. Payne Haas wobbled off today. Not 100%. Now, whether that's a Queensland tactic, they always like to play the fake injury type thing. But if Payne Haas and Reynolds are out, it's a couple of big outs.
Yes, absolutely. Regardless, at Penny Park, Penrith will get the job done.
Okay, no worries.
And Friday night, George, your mob kicking off the Warriors I'm talking about.
Oh,
Not Canterbury. The Warriors hosting the Raiders in New Zealand. Think I'll go the Warriors here.
They're favourites, $1.43 to $2.83 at the moment. So, yeah, I'm with you, Nickel. Warriors.
yeah. Look, Raiders are jumping on a plane going to the other side of the world, New Zealand. Nice, cold, windy. Warriors are playing well.
Yeah.
Warriors are playing well. The Raiders are going to have a look at something completely different to what they played previously. So they might get caught up. Look, it might be by 30, it might be by 1, but Warriors will win.
Yeah.
And the game following that has a potential to be the best game of the round. The Roosters hosting the Rabbitohs. Now, we need to note Luke Keary will be missing.
Yeah, Luke Keary's out. HIA.
HIA.
Definitely out.
Dean Hawkins comes in for the Rabbitohs.
It's a tough one, but I'm going to lean on the Roosters. And if they do win, South will really be in trouble.
It's a big out for the Roosters.
It's a tough one because I'm expecting a different South.
Who's the
But I
backup?
keep saying that every week.
Yeah.
Who comes in for Kiri?
I'm not sure. Do they move
Manu?
a Suwali or a Manu into the 6? I don't know.
Yeah.
Cleary, sorry, not Cleary, Luke Keary, wasn't great
Yeah.
the other day.
Oh, I think he does a lot though for that team. It makes a big difference when he's in or out. I'm going to go Chooks as well, just because. I don't know.
I'm going to go Chooks.
Yeah, I think there's trouble in paradise in the Rabbits, so I'm going to go Chooks.
Rabbitohs in disarray, Nicola. Dean Hawkins will improve the team. Dean Hawkins is a quality rugby league player. Dean Hawkins will not lose a first grade job at Souths, and the other teams will be aware of him. But on Friday night, Roosters will win.
Yeah, they'll be pumped.
And Saturday afternoon, George, Belmore Sports Ground.
Yeah, who knows?
Expecting a full house there. The Bulldogs up against the Gold Coast Titans coming off a bye.
Yeah.
Desi Hasler.
I'm going to go the Dogs.
Desi has returned.
Especially with what I saw the other day, and especially the fact that they're at Belmore, and Gold Coast still haven't convinced me of anything.
Oh, it's an interesting one, this one. I'm going to go on upset here. I'm going to go Titans because it's Des.
Yeah.
And Des is playing against his old team. And he is going to be pumped. I'm sure he's going to want to win this game. He's got a record against when he plays against his old teams.
Nicola, I'm scared because of all the reasons that Adi mentioned. Desi, not the Titans, Desi scares me, especially when he comes back to Belmore. I am going to pick the Bulldogs in good faith, but I have no idea, and I have no faith in the Dogs because the Titans on paper are a better team.
And I hate to disappoint you, but this is, I thought, the closest the Dogs would come to being favourites.
No way.
But they're $1.86, and the Titans are $1.86. What I'm looking at.
Pick them, pick them.
Wow.
So, you know what? As long as the Dogs give it the same effort that they did on Saturday, they'll be in the hunt, and that's all I can ask for.
Do you know if Foreign's going to be back for the Titans?
Not sure. We'll see tomorrow. Following that game, the Dragons have a chance at redemption at Jubilee Stadium up against the Cowboys. Tough ask.
We're going to that game.
This is a game
that's the only
that's the one, yeah.
Cowboys only Egyptian Cowboys supporter in the world.
So that's a game that
we'll be going to that one with me.
That's a tough
George.
ask.
Dragons will lose this. I can't see them winning. Cowboys are just too good. They're just too good.
I have to go the Cowboys.
There's no way Saints will win this.
After the Cowboys won and played very poor last week, I think they're going to work it out. It's a win/loss they had to have. They'll play really well, and I fear Dragons. I fear for the Dragons.
Cowboys put 43 on the Dolphins. Dragons couldn't put any points on the Dolphins.
The good news is, as we know, a week's a long time.
A week's a long time.
I know.
A week is a long time.
I just can't see it, man. They've lost my faith again.
And closing off Saturday night, we have the West Tigers at Leichhardt Oval hosting the Cronulla Sharks.
Wow.
Leichhardt should be a full house.
It will be.
Obviously, it's their spiritual home. Hard to go past the Sharks, though.
Yeah.
For me.
You're going the Sharks.
Heavy favourites, too.
I haven't been that impressed with the Sharks, to be honest.
Really?
No.
Structurally, they're great.
Have you been impressed with the Tigers?
But the Tigers, yeah. If it was anyone else, I might go. I just haven't been that impressed.
Structurally,
I thought that the Warriors should have beaten them.
Yes.
And I thought the Dogs were unlucky in the first half. If they went in the sheds 18-6 at half time.
Well, 12-6.
Yeah, but even 18. But 18, it would have changed everything. Dogs would have knuckled down. They would have had a bit of swagger. I think they might have got on with it. But
the Sharks have started slow.
They started slow, but they still win.
Really strongly.
But they win, yeah. That's the thing. Their fitness is good. And that's the only reason why I'm going to pick the Sharks, just because they can probably wear them down and then do the killer punch in the end.
You know what? I feel for the Tigers, and I really want them to get off the mark for Benji more than anything else. But I don't think it's going to be this week.
No.
I think the Sharks will win. They've got 2 victories, and they're not going to let it slip.
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m, Parramatta hosting Manly Sea.
That's a game of the round.
It's an interesting one because what I'm looking at, they're both at $1.90. Again, evenly split. I want to tip the Eels at home, but this one scares me because Manly just look really good. I'll go with Parramatta.
You'll go Para?
But I'm not convinced. Yeah.
On Sportsbet's got $1.85 Eels, $2 Eagles.
Yeah, it depends which
I know,
which one you're
which
looking
betting
at.
agency,
I'm
yes.
just looking at the one I've got in front of me. But
Yeah, wow.
it's hard to split this one. It
Mm.
really is. Depends again. With these two teams, you don't know who's going to turn. What you're going to see.
Any injuries? Any concerns there
Well,
from Manly and Para?
Well, I think Manly lost Tommy Talau to an ankle injury. I don't know if he'll
Okay.
be right. Ola Kawatu, I think, dislocated. So I'm not sure. I don't know if it's serious
wow.
or not. With Para, obviously, Sivo's still out. I think Simonson will be out.
Oh, Thompson will be out.
I think. We'll know tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I think they're still pretty evenly matched.
Yeah.
I'll lean with Parramatta, but I'm not convinced.
It's a game that Nico and I will be at, Adi. So I can't wait to have a full look at the Eels and have a look at what happens behind play. Parramatta at Parramatta, hardly lose. Unfortunately, Manly have to go over the spit, and what happens when they go over the spit? They start shaking and they start sweating. Eels will win and win well.
Okay.
And the last game of the
I'll go
round.
Manly on that one.
The last. Oh, sorry, I didn't
No, that's
ask you.
right.
The last game of the round, Newcastle hosting the Melbourne Storm. So the Storm travelling for the first time. They've played 2 home games. This is a really tough one to pick because again we don't know what we're going to see. I don't know if Munsters and Nelson are back this week
They're
or
not
not.
back.
No.
Hughes is out too.
Hughes is out.
Hughes is out,
Monster's
yeah.
out. Solomon, the
Solomona. He's on the outer.
he's on the outer apparently. He's on the outer.
When's
Attitude.
the coffee coming from Gould?
No, he's not going to let him go.
So the Storm
He won't let him go.
the Storm are still the favourites, but I'm going to go for the upset Newcastle at home because they were so disappointing 2 weeks ago
Yeah, no.
or last week.
I
I should
agree.
say. They'll have a full house
Yep.
and they owe them something, and they've got an opportunity with a depleted Storm.
Yep, I agree. I agree.
You're going Knights
Nicola.
too.
I'm going Knights. I agree. I see a lot in the Knights. All they have to do is click. Sure, Storm have sort of clicked and they're going to be top 4. Look, Storm is going to do what Storm does. They're going to be top 4. They're a great team. But the Knights,
How sure are we about Munster being out?
Munster's out.
You know what? He's out because the following week I think they have a bye, and so they'd rather give him the extra 2 weeks rather than bring him back a week early.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and,
yeah, I read that.
Solomon is definitely on the outer. He's definitely on the outer until they sort it out.
I'd take him.
Yeah, I don't think he'll let him go, but at the moment they're arguing.
So we'll expect to
Knights.
see him.
Knights for me.
Expect to see him at the Bulldogs.
Says, I hope.
in about 2 months.
I
The
sincerely
coffee
hope
shop's
so.
already got an appointment.
Yeah, I sincerely hope
Nelson
so.
and Gus.
Again,
And,
I'll take him with open
and-
arms.
I've gone the Storm just to go different with you guys. I don't know why. You're right though. The Storm. I'm just worried
good
about the
team.
halves now. The
Storm's a good team.
The
Storm's a very good
no,
team.
no, but yeah, they haven't got the halves. The Storm. They're missing both, not one.
Yeah.
You know
both.
what?
Jonah Pazzet's been playing really
Pazzet's
well.
outstanding.
He's really good.
He just goes to 7, and look, Meany can play 6.
Yeah.
Meany's a 5'8".
And that Falogo guy is
Go back in the centres.
dynamic. I think he's a half too. He can play.
He's a half. He's okay.
Can Pappenhausen play 5'8"?
Pappenhausen can play wherever he wants.
Yeah. But they'll keep Pap at fullback.
Yeah.
They're gonna move Pap.
And the
I'll go
Dolphins,
Storm, yeah.
the Dolphins are going back to back. They've got to buy.
Gotta buy.
There you go.
There's 2
They've
more
got to
points.
buy. Yeah. So that's it for Crystal Ball. Let's see how we go with our tips. We're pretty close at the moment. 1 point separating all 3 of us.
Yeah, it's pretty close. 10 points me, Nick on 9, and George on 8. So
Holding up the real.
There you go.
We'll see,
Holding up the re.
we'll see how we go, and we'll see everyone on part 4 of episode 64 for our tidbits segment. So until then, bye for now.
bye for now.
Bye, guys.
You ready to go, George?
Yep.
Okay. And 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, Quick Hands Rugby League Podcast. This is the pod that tells it like it is, and we're on the final segment of episode 64, part 4. Tidbits. George, take it away.
Nicola, the year in review. 2004. What a great season.
2004.
2004.
You had to pick a season where the Bulldogs won the comp.
Whoa. I had to do it. I've done everybody. I've done St. George, haven't I? When I won the comp.
I just want to point out, I've been hammered with 2001 twice so far this year. Okay, I'm just saying that. all
And
right?
we're in round
Yeah.
2.
I'll pick next week. I'll pick a season that St. George won. But it's 2004. What were we listening to, Adi, in 2004?
2004.
Yeah. What songs were you listening to?
Eminem.
We probably were, but not on the list. I'll give you an idea. We're listening to Usher with Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember that one? We're listening to Usher again with Burn.
Man, he was popular back then.
Yeah, some hits there. Alicia Keys, she had a hit. If I Ain't Got You. A little bit of rock and roll. Evanescence, My Immortal.
Fantastic. That was a
song,
great
great track,
song.
great track.
They came out, actually. I would have missed out. I would have loved to have seen them live.
Yeah, it actually came out.
Funny
last year.
story about Usher, just quickly. He performed on some awards show here in Sydney in early 2005.
Did he?
Yeah, and someone that we both know, who I won't name, but I'll tell you after, was part of the backing band.
Okay.
And he got paid something like $5,000 to pretend to play guitar.
Pretend to
For
play
that,
guitar.
yeah. And the reason I know that is because I got him to get me an Usher autograph for a girlfriend I was seeing at the time.
Outstanding.
Yeah, it was a good move.
Outstanding.
It worked. But
Outstanding.
yeah, anyway, back to it.
What were we watching?
What we were watching in
2004.
2004?
Movies, yeah, in movies.
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 That's a really good question.
Shrek?
Shrek 2. Good one.
Shrek 2.
Shrek 2.
I
Okay.
still haven't seen the first one.
Outstanding.
I don't
Shrek.
like cartoon movies.
Yeah, Shrek's good. Shrek's different. Shrek's good.
Wow, I'm trying to think now.
Were there any big
We
James Bond
met
movies?
the...
Parents.
We all
Meet the
saw
Parents?
that.
Fockers.
We met the
Met
fuckers.
the fuckers. That was
Met the
awesome.
fuckers, yeah. Jason Bourne was
The
doing his
Bourne
thing.
Identity.
The Bourne
The first one?
Identity.
The supremacy.
Okay.
The Bourne supremacy.
Supremacy.
Yep. I snuck in one of my favorites, Anchorman.
Ah,
Classic.
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 You gotta love
we
it.
got to
That's
watch
the
it
best.
together, Artie. We got to watch
That's
it
the
together.
best, yeah.
I bet you we'll laugh our heads
Oh,
off on
yeah,
that
for
one.
sure.
And a controversial one, The Passion of.
Oh, wow.
of
Yes.
Christ.
Mel
Mel
Gibson.
Gibson's movie. Yeah.
Wasn't one of my favorites to watch, but definitely.
That went down well for him afterwards, didn't it?
Yeah, struggled a bit.
Jeez.
So the year in review in rugby league was 2004. It was the 97th season of rugby league. Earlier that year, or before even the year started, we had the Coffs Harbour rape allegations.
Oh,
for the
wow.
Bulldogs, if you remember, it was a big story, and they continued
Jeez.
all the way for the year, basically.
Yes. Lot of-
Miraculously, there was no charges pressed, Nicola.
I remember
oh, wow.
working with you at the time
Oh,
for a little
together?
while when
Oh,
I
right.
was in
Okay.
between. It was before I went to Datacom.
Okay.
Jeez.
And I remember where we were.
Yeah.
We were doing project homes when that was
Okay.
happening. Yeah, I still remember
Interesting.
that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What
in a
would-
cul-de-sac.
What do you think would happen in this day's environment if that came out?
Oh, a rape allegation. My godfather. You touch a girl. You touch a girl when you get 6 weeks.
Well, we had the Bellin and the others, but imagine the whole team. That was a whole.
That was the whole team.
That was a
Nothing
whole
came
team.
of it though, right?
Yeah.
No, there was
Nothing
no
came
press,
of it,
no
no.
charges pressed.
No.
No. But it affected them.
But you also have to remember at that time, the Bulldogs were copying a lot of crap from a lot of different angles, and so off-field stuff, right?
Yeah.
Some of it was legit, most of it wasn't. And you know how you said like the Dragons were getting hammered at the time. The Bulldogs were just, if two of their players went out, they were getting allegations of whatever, and when it wasn't true, you guys were getting hammered at that
We're
time.
getting hammered. We're getting hammered. I remember.
And this is another example where nothing came of it
Nothing came of it
except for bad press.
Very bad press, and then, like I said, Buzz must have had a field day. We didn't know him.
They
back
never
then.
do us favours, mate.
The Challenge Cup final, Bradford defeated Penrith
Oh,
early in the year.
jeez, Penrith.
What was the salary cap?
Never win one of those,
They
can they?
never win, and they've lost 3 now. No, 3. What was the salary cap back then?
Was there a
8,
salary cap?
6, 8,
8. Maybe I wrote it wrong.
6,
What did you put?
4.
3 point.
Yeah,
No, that's about
that's
right.
probably right.
3.25.
Yeah, it's about right.
Yeah.
Yep.
For 25 players.
We didn't have any $1 million players.
I was talking
back
about the
then.
Bulldogs cap back then.
Oh, that's different. That's different. Yeah.
That was 8.
You're talking about 20 years ago.
And
we didn't have
Melbourne's,
any $1 million
true.
players.
That's true.
500 would have been top
Ooh,
dollar.
ooh.
Yeah. No, I don't even think anyone was on 500.
No, I don't think so. 300 probably. The biggest comeback of the year, Nicola, the Dragons.
Yes.
They were trailing at half time 34-10.
Wow.
And
I don't remember
I
that.
think it's
was-
Manly.
Actually, yeah, and it was the 53rd minute, it was still 34-10. And somehow they won 36-34.
remember
Justin
that.
Paul at the end.
Were you there?
I watched the game. Was it a Saturday night? Wasn't it? Saturday
remember.
afternoon.
I can't remember it.
Cracking game.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. You're throwing remotes at the TV. It was going crazy. And then at the end, he's just jumping. Yay. It was fantastic.
I
It
remember
was a
Justin
great
Paul. He
comeback.
came to Parramatta after.
Yeah, I think he scored the try in the end.
I think he ended up becoming a plumber or something.
Yeah, good player. It was a solid little forward,
Yeah.
front row.
Was that at Cogra? Or
Oh,
was that at Manly?
I can't remember. It might have been at Manly.
Okay.
It was a cracking game. I don't know how Manly lost that game, but yeah, cracker.
I'm sorry, Nicola, but Jamie Lyon decided to walk out on Parramatta that year.
That's what I said before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After you said that, I didn't want to bring it up.
No, it's,
2 coaches got sacked that year. Daniel Anderson for New Zealand and Paul Langmack for South Sydney. And we got some good stories about Paul Langmack
Paul
and
Langmack.
Paul Langmack.
champion.
Paul Langmack
Champion.
with Souths. There was 2 rookies of distinct nature that year. A young man called Sonny Bill Williams and another young man called Carmichael Hunt.
That's right. I remember in that off season, Brian Smith went on record by saying he's going to bulk up the Parramatta team to make them all bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
And the opening game, Canterbury walloped
We
them.
smashed them,
Yeah.
Belmore, yeah, absolutely.
No, at Homebush.
At Homebush, that's
Yeah.
right. We absolutely
Yeah.
put a number on them, yeah. There goes that weight station.
Yeah.
Nick Politis' draw ensured that the Roosters didn't leave Sydney that year.
How did that work out for him?
Not that
They lost the big one,
Yeah,
and that was in Sydney.
that was in Sydney. Dal Diem that year?
Georgia was at Cogra, sorry.
It was at Cogra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dalium that year?
Seeing as we're doing 2004, can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Shout out to my mate Dave Matrone,
Yeah.
West Tiger supporter. I told him at the time, I will never forgive you. So I was his best man at his wedding in 2004,
2000.
and his wedding was on grand final day.
Oh,
I said,
there you go.
sacrilegious.
I said, if Parramatta
No
win
way.
that
Do
grand
that.
final, I will never forgive you.
Oh,
Right?
mate. You look at the calendar before you...
I was actually relieved when we didn't get through.
I thought in the middle of the year
Yeah.
then, not in the end of the year. Anyway, Dal Diem that year. Any idea? I'll give you a hint. Newcastle player.
Johns.
No.
Gidley.
No.
Baderas.
Yes. Danny Baderas. Top try scorer.
Solomon Hamano.
Blacklock.
I'm a joke. Blacklock.
Blacklock.
Oh, what? It's not Blacklock.
Famous Amos.
Roberts.
Yeah,
Amos Roberts.
23 tries.
At Penrith. Who was at Penrith then?
He
No, he
was
was
at
at
St. George.
Wasn't he?
No, because I'm looking at the St. George lineup in that Manly game, and Ben Hornby was our fullback.
Yeah.
Maybe he was out that week though.
Well, have a look. It,
I'll have a
it said St. George
Oh,
on
maybe he was. Maybe Ben Hornby played that one game. Yeah, sorry.
This will be easy. Top top point scorer.
Hazemil Masri.
Hazemil Mazri.
It's gotta be Hazem.
322 points that year. And this is
He was Penrith, man.
and was he?
Yeah.
Oh, then I'm wrong. I thought it definitely said St. George. Maybe I'm wrong. And with a frog in my throat, the Clive. Well, obviously a
Wait a
Bulldogs
second.
player.
Wait a second.
Clive Churchill medal.
Thurston.
Yeah.
Thurston.
No,
Who got it?
was a back row. Very tall.
Stephen Price.
No, he
No.
didn't play in the grand final.
Oh, and
Andrew Ryan.
Willie Mason.
Oh, William Mason.
oh, Mason got Clive Churchill.
Yeah, got the Clive.
Wow.
Well, we know we know who won. The top 8 was the Roosters on 42 points,
Yeah.
the Dogs on 42 points, the Broncos on 37. Well, there you go. Penrith on 34. So Amos scored everywhere. St George on 32, Storm on 30, Cowboys were in the 29, and Raiders snuck in 26. That was the top 8. And, of course, as we know, the grand final, the Dogs defeated the Roosters 16-13.
It's only one of 2 grand finals I've never watched.
Really?
Yeah, the other one was 2011 because I was flying home from LA.
Okay.
And you know when you lose a day?
Yeah.
That was the grand
yeah.
final day.
Oh.
That was unavoidable.
And this one here?
So that's why I tell all my Manly mates that one doesn't exist to me. It never happened because that day never happened. Well, that one I was at the wedding. And in those days, we couldn't have the game on our phones like we do now. We go to family functions and it's always George and I sitting next to each other, staring at our phone, leaning up against the glass on the table.
That's true.
We didn't have that back then, but I remember a whole chunk of the room disappeared for about half an hour, which was the second half. They went to the 5-Dog Hotel. But anyway, that was funny. But yeah.
The player in review. My father asked me to do this, so reluctantly I agreed, and here we go. The player in review is John Scandalis. Johnny Scandalis.
Johnny Scandalis. Is he a one-club player?
One club player. He did go to England.
Oh, okay.
He did have he wasn't happy, but and he came back.
But did he play for West before West Tigers? Or just
West Tigers, yes. Yeah, West.
No, but was he at West before or did he start at West
No,
Tigers?
West first. He had a bit of a story. Born in Sydney, from Ashfield, the family moved to Minto. Unfortunately, the family home burnt down, Nicola, and they lost their mother.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, lost their mother. The dad really struggled to raise him and his sister. So in stepped in Josie McGuinness. So basically
related to the McGuinness brothers.
That's coming. Yep. So basically, John was raised by the McGuinnesses.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was 6 years old when that happened. So the McGuinness family got him early, and yes, you're right.
Kevin and Ken.
Kevin and Ken McGuinness was the children of Josie McGuinness.
Great players.
Yeah.
Basically his brothers, as he said in the article that I read. So look, I'm not sure if Dad hung around. I'm not sure if Dad stayed in the area, but 100% I know that he said in an article which I read that Josie's his mum.
Yeah.
And Kevin and Ken are his brothers.
That's a lovely story.
Yeah.
Hey.
So that he did play for the Minto Cobras. That was his junior club. He played for West Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
He went to England and played for Huddersfield. An unhappy time, Nicola. He didn't really want to be away from the southwest part of Sydney. So he jumped on a plane. He signed for 2 or 3 years, I think, and after a year he jumped on a plane and came home. He did play for City. He had one game for City. And, of course, covered in glory, he had a game for Greece.
Hey.
He won the premiership as well in 05.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He was a member of that 05. Was it 05?
Yeah, West Tigers. Yeah.
He was a member of that 05 team which won the premiership. Look, he was known as a workhorse, and
he was a good player.
He was known as a workhorse. And Benji did say, Benji said that every time I saw Johnny take the ball up, I knew the next ruck I had space, so I'll be calling for the ball. So that's a big accolade for Benji, being a front rower doing his job.
Yeah.
Look, he scored 3 tries in his career, Nicola. Not a big try scorer, but look,
not many front rowers are.
Yeah, but he's got 3 meat pies. There wasn't too much on Johnny because, like I said, a real clubman. At the moment, he's working in pathways down there in Macquarie Fields.
Oh, good stuff.
He's getting that western suburb or the Campbelltown sort of region and bringing kids through. He did get sacked when Taylor Jason Taylor, but Benji a couple of years ago and rang him up quick smart and got him back onto the team. Like I said, the more I read, it was more about him being a real club man and a genuine Western suburbs. And man, and
You can see it by his performance. You can tell he was a very loyal,
yeah.
hard-working type player. You know, it's great.
Yeah, and I got surprised. He actually played well for Huddersfield, but just wasn't happy. Just wasn't happy being in the north of England. So that's that. Super League, Nicola. Very interesting. Very interesting. I'll give you some scores, and I haven't got the Warrington score, but Wigan beat Salford 22-12. I watched it. They played terrible, but they won. So that shows you a good team. St Helens 18 and Leeds 8, and St Helens did play well.
Yeah,
Did play well.
Go St Helens.
Huddersfield, Hal KR 24, Huddersfield 12. Here's the highlight of the round. Lee Leopards, Nicola, the Pods team with the ugliest jersey in the world. 54.
Wow.
Hull FC 4, and they've had a clunky season, but it looks like they're back on track. And Catalans scored 40, Nicola. Castleford scored 14. So they're back on track.
Catalans?
Catalans, yeah.
Yep. That's Cornelius' favourite team.
Cornelius' favourite team. The whole team.
Yeah,
The whole
team. Yeah.
The whole squad. The whole squad.
Yep.
No, that was his best looking, right? Yeah.
Whole squad. I'll give you an idea now of the top four. The team coming first is Sam Burgess' team,
Wow.
Warrington.
Yeah.
And they're looking $1 million. And there's some players who haven't had a happy career in the NRL, and all of a sudden they're
Ex-Dragons.
ex-Dragons. They're
Paul Vaughan and Matt Duffy.
and Matt Duffy. Well, Paul Vaughan always played well.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Yeah.
But Mac Duffy is looking $1 million, Nicola. Coming second is the Wigan Warriors. Coming third is St Helens, and fourth, Catalans.
Interesting.
The English League has done the backflip about tackling underneath the sternum.
Thank God.
Oh,
for that.
really?
Yeah, they had
Common
to.
sense.
Yeah.
It was a penalty, I thought. You wouldn't get a
Yeah.
set of 6.
Yeah.
If you just touched a shoulder.
Sure, you try that in the
Common
trial
sense
games before you
prevails.
bring it out into the league.
Seriously, I watched the first 2 rounds. I'm thinking, if it's going to be like this, I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
I'm not watching it.
That's
You couldn't finish a set of 6. So thank Christ they've done a backflip, and it's starting to settle down the Super League now. It's a good watch. Nicola, I want to ask you guys for dynamic duos. And let me throw one up, the obvious one: Cliff Lyons and Beaver Menzies.
Well, we've got
Yeah,
the
Cliff Lyons was probably responsible for 80% of Beaver's tries.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
fantastic, yeah.
Can you think of any other dynamic duos we
Dynamic
have?
duos.
And if we have any in the current NRL?
That's a good one. Dynamic duos.
Well, there's obviously Sterling and Kenny.
One of my personal favourites was Laurie and Clyde.
Yep.
Laurie Daly and
Yep.
Brad Clyde.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely, they were dynamic.
Even
duos.
though he was half partners with Stewart,
Yeah,
they had a good connection
Absolutely.
as the 6 and 13.
Absolutely.
Walters and Lockyer.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Walters and Lockyer.
Walters and Langer.
Walters and Lang.
Yeah.
Did Ricky Stewart have a partner? in
Well,
crime?
with Laurie Daly.
with
yeah.
Lawrence, yeah. with
Wally
Lawrence.
Lewis and Langer. What about Wally Lewis? Who was
Well,
his
they
sidekick?
didn't- That was mainly in Origin.
Yeah, Origin more than anything else.
Yeah, but he had his reliable guy next to him in Origin.
I can't remember who it was. But
It's
yeah,
a-
he
it-
would have. He would.
I mean, there's been a few. I'm just trying to think.
it's a hard one. Eh? I was
It's
trying
hard,
to.
yeah,
I was
it's
trying to
not
think
easy.
too. I was trying to think. How about in the current? Current day,
oh,
is there
wow.
anyone who trails? Well, look, Super League. We know Carl Pearce-Paul and Bevan French.
Would you say
It's nowhere near the level that we're talking about, but Dylan Brown and Sean Lane have a good combination.
absolutely. No, absolutely. They have a relationship.
would you say Yao and Cleary?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely they do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They're a dynamic duo. They both need each other, yeah.
Yeah. Hines Nickora? No,
Not yet.
not yet. Nico Hines.
Not yet.
And, who's Nico Hines?
That's true. He's
He's got a ball runner. He always goes to a guy who's going to cut through.
Yeah. Look, you know what? What's starting to form there is Trindle and Hines. That's starting to form.
Yeah.
That's gonna take its own pathway.
What about Munster and Hughes? They're pretty.
I'd say Monster and Pap.
Munster and Pap.
Yeah, I'd say Monster
Okay.
and Pap.
What about Brad Arthur and Centrelink?
Maybe it's Jason Demetriou and Centrelink. Maybe Jason did. But yeah.
Latrell and the other guy, Cody.
Latrell's not dynamic at anything at the moment.
Maybe
is Cody,
maybe
to be honest.
Ponga and the tattoo guy, Barley Boy, best.
I think at least up until halfway through last year, Campbell Graham had a good connection with what's his name? I forget now.
Yeah.
Cody.
Campbell Graham was good. He's a big.
He was
He's
leading
huge.
the way,
Huge loss.
before he got injured, and the whole team fell off a cliff. But they remember the first half of last season.
Yeah. He was in the conversation for Origin, if I remember right.
Turbo DCE.
Turbo DCE, yes. Turbo,
They're
and that's
pretty good.
Turbo, and that's going to flourish this year as well.
Turbo and anyone in the team.
True. Tommy, Adi, and Nicola, any movies, TV series, pods you've been listening that you want to recommend, or anything you've been enjoying lately?
TV series?
Yeah.
Mate, I've been backed up with maths.
Mate.
We've been watching maths.
What's doing there?
That's just all over the place.
What's doing there? You've been watching maths?
Well, I go on record. I don't watch reality TV.
Oh, no.
You got to watch this.
year
Nah,
maths.
You got to watch
No,
this.
Nicola,
Can I
this
just
year's
say
maths.
something?
This
I was-
year, they're just...
I was
That's-
watching reality television before anyone even knew what it was. In
Wrestling.
the 80s, it was called wrestling.
Wrestling.
Right?
You didn't know about that.
I don't believe in reality TV. I believe there's reality and there's television.
Oh,
No, you got to watch this.
We're rewatching The Sopranos at the moment.
Outstanding.
And a lot of the old stuff, actually. Big Bang Theory, 2.5 Men.
Outstanding.
Great show on Paramount called The Offer. I don't know
Offer?
if you guys have seen it.
No.
Have you got Paramount?
Yes.
Definitely watch it. It's about the making of the first Godfather film, but it's a show.
Tell that to D.
And Suits on Netflix.
Yeah, Suits
Probably the
amazing.
third time around, I think.
Third time round.
Yeah. But
Adi?
Me?
What's doing with that bodybuilder? The guy's wearing the
tight
shirts.
shirts? Yeah, I know,
One
it's
size
just
always small.
ridiculous,
He's
ridiculous.
playing that good. You know what? She's as bad as last night. She's as bad as him. You know.
Yeah.
She's as bad as him.
She's bad. There's one that I really enjoyed called Mindhunter, which is on Netflix. It's about how the FBI section that studies serial killers started. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. That was good. A recent one.
Mindhunter, did you say?
Mindhunter.
Mindhunter. I'll look it up.
That one's a good one. And I'm currently watching one called The Boy Who Swallowed the Earth or something. It's an Aussie one. I'm only 3 in, but it's pretty good.
Is it?
There's a good one called
Boy Who
Cocaine
Swallowed the
Cowboys.
Universe.
What?
Cocaine Cowboys.
Oh, what's that about?
That's it's about these two guys in Miami. I think it was in the 80s, 90s. They were pushing the biggest cocaine dealing, and look, they got fried in the end. But sorry to ruin it, but these guys went to court 100 times and got off and got off.
How?
It was unbelievable how they did. It was at the end they got him. He would have got off again, right? I don't know how, but they ended up getting him an 80-year sentence or something for tax evasion. It was a bit like Al Capone. They couldn't get him on anything. They ended up pinning him with tax evasion.
Okay.
It was a pretty good story because it's just funny how, for me, these guys keep getting arrested and charged and it's all there, and somehow their lawyer gets them out of it. It was hilarious. I actually kind of hope they got away with it in the end after watching that. But that was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I've been watching maths because of Anna. And I won't lie, I'm into it. I'm into it. And beside watching rugby league and listening to the rugby league pods, there's not much. But one thing I'm going to recommend again, I listen to a lot of pods, but I'm going to go back because I listen to a lot of interviews, shows. James Graham. I haven't heard the latest one. But if you want to hear a really, really, really good interview, I'm going to say it again, not because I know him, but the Para Cave with Troy. He's done one with the coach you love, Brian Smith.
Oh, yeah.
And he's done one with Gaia.
Oh, yeah.
Those two are a must listen, especially Smitty.
Yeah, I've got to listen to Smitty.
A must listen. You'll learn more about Brian Smith in that 30 minutes that he's got him there, or I think it's 40 minutes, then how long do we know him? 20 years,
Mm.
you'll learn more in that interview than the 20 years that we know him. So that's a must. And everything Troy does is good, actually. I won't lie. But those two are a must. And maths, what's doing there? What's doing there? Seriously, well, every time I see him on the couch or every dinner, there's something doing.
Yeah.
It's just funny. I don't know. I just know it's funny.
One thing I wanted to mention last week happened was the Greek miracle in European soccer in the Conference League. One of the Greek teams, Olympiakos, played their first game in Greece and lost 4-1 to an Israeli team.
What?
So they had to play the second leg in Israel, and they beat them 6-1 on the return to make it through to the next round.
Oh.
And on top of that, another Greek team called PAOK won their group. They were down 2-0, and they ended up beating a Croatian team 4-1 or something to make it through. So there's two Greek teams in the European Conference League, which is pretty rare to get into the quarterfinals.
So it's not the Champions League; it's the one
It's
underneath.
the Champions League, and then you've got the Euro, and then you've got the third.
The Conference League started
It's the
about
third
3
level.
years ago.
It's three
Oh, so it's something else now.
Yeah. So it's given the lower leagues a bit of a chance to get some silverware, basically, in Europe.
Well, any silverware, Nicola, it doesn't matter.
Trophy's a trophy.
Trophy's a trophy. And wrapping the...
I think Rome won the first one, didn't they?
Roma, second one, I think.
Who won the first one?
I can't remember, but what's the name? Mourinho.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them, yeah.
I
I might have won the first one, sorry.
On the Greek...
I think it was the first one, yeah.
On the Greek thing Saturday, Adi, the women in Europe, France is playing Greece.
Oh, okay.
Which is a humongous game. It's to qualify for the World Cup. Of course, the captain of France, friend of the pod, Laurent. I'll just contact her, or the Wonder Boy will contact her after the game and try to get her to talk to us about the game.
Tell her to go easy on the Greeks, please.
Apparently they're okay. I think the Australian girls are going over. I think I'm hoping the girl that I know, young Ballas, she might be jumping on the plane. I'm not sure if her knee's good enough yet, but she might be. There's I think 6 Australian girls going over to bolster the.
Oh, okay.
And they're all Tasha Gale Cup players from the Roosters, or some of them. I think 2 of them from Penrith, 2 of them from the Roosters, and a few from St George.
Wow,
so they're not a bad. They won't be a bad team. They won't be a bad team. And I've left this for last. I heard the amount of feathers are talking, and you know how he wants 20 teams.
Yeah. When by?
Good question. If it's up to him now.
Oh, okay. He wants a quick.
Okay. Yeah, but in 3 years we'll have 20 teams.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and you know how you said that if they play once each other, there's not enough games.
Yeah.
Well, you know why? He wants the semi-finals to be a 3-game series.
Like basketball.
Yeah.
Similar.
Yeah. So instead of the grand final, he wants it to be a 3-game series.
This guy's ruining rugby league.
A 3-game series.
That's what he wants.
Like Origin. Game 1, game 2.
Again, not that it's going to happen. That's his wish list. He just looks at it dollars and cents. Now, I see both of your faces. which
remember, you're a big Rocky fan. We're all big Rocky fans. You remember Rocky 3?
Love Rocky 3.
Do you remember when Rocky wanted to fight Mr. T, what Mickey said to him?
What did he say?
He said, the worst thing happened to you that could happen to any fighter.
Oh, yeah.
He got civilized.
He got civilized, yeah.
That's what's happening to this game.
Yeah.
That's what's happening to this game slowly. It's becoming more and more civilized.
You don't like the 3-game series?
I don't like any of the changes that this clown's made to the game so far.
Well, not a clown. It's about money. It's about money.
I know, but we don't have shoulder charges anymore.
Yeah, okay.
Because Greg Inglis shoulder charged Dean Young, a guy half his height. We don't have punches anymore because Paul Gallen punched Nate Miles. Like, the game I grew up watching is almost gone.
It is.
And now we're seeing ridiculous crap week in, week out that
this is his wish list.
He's getting penalised. We're seeing crap that's not getting penalised. The game's becoming civilised.
You know what's scary about that?
One guy calls another guy a monkey, and it's the biggest story in Australian sport for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The game's becoming civilised.
I totally agree.
And the excitement in everything comes before that point.
Yeah.
I agree.
My opinion, I've got to stress, my opinion.
what I don't like about that is with the Origin 3 series, the 3-game series, you've got half a state watching one. You got 2 states interested.
That'll be a best of 8 games.
Yeah. No, whereas a grand final, just say it's a grand final, if you got Melbourne versus North Queensland, you've got a small percentage of the people interested. Like, it's going to lose its gloss. Honestly,
It already is.
It's not.
So
good.
I'm not. I won't knock grand finals in an event.
I'm not knocking the Cowboys.
We've already got too many teams.
I just want to tell George the Egyptian Cowboys. Well, I'm not knocking the Cowboys. I'm just saying the support base isn't as big as if it was the other bigger teams like the Broncos and the.
Bring back John Rebo.
Yeah,
we already have too many teams.
I shouldn't have said that one, should I? I stirred him.
Yeah, look, I don't know.
That's his wish list. I'm not saying it's going to happen, and I don't think it will happen. But he'll
the 20-team comp is good. I like if there's 20 teams and conference. That's fine. I don't mind that. But just the final series, just leave it as it is. Just one game, have everyone fight for it, and that's it. Done.
I'm with you. And
maybe a 2-game series, home and away.
What happens if one
aggregate?
I know.
Yeah,
away goals, away tries.
38-0. First game's 38-0. You've got to win by 39.
Away tries rule.
Oh, God. You can't do it.
And we'll finish it off with the song of the week. And
what is the song of the week?
Yeah, look, from those songs, and usually I pick the songs from that year, and I didn't like none of them, I won't lie. And I had picked I Don't Want to Know from Mario, but I think the senses around the table have told me something different. I'm going to go with Evanescence and My Immortal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's a great song. It is a great song.
It is a great song, and I should have picked that originally. I don't know why I picked this one. I think it was a little bit more upbeat, but the Boy Wonder will stick My Immortal on. And that's me, Nicola.
And that's it. So that wraps up part 4 of episode 64, which is a wrap on episode 64, boys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for everything. A lot of content in this week's pod.
It was heaps.
Always a pleasure catching up with you guys. And we'll see everyone next week.
Happy Rugby League, everybody.
Enjoy your rugby league. Happy rugby league.
Bye,
Bye
guys.
Yeah. Bye.